Like a good concert, it's got to start a little late.
Why? You're not supposed to start talking before I change the thing.
Why don't you change the thing first and then add the audio?
Hi, everyone. Because then it moves the... Listen, I have a system, okay? Don't get us copyright claimed again, please.
I don't think I could.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. I know. Aaron is such a cutie. Listen. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Happy Saturday. Friendly. Oh, thank you, everyone. Happy early birthday to me. The oval balloons have had a bit of an incident. They're not like dead. They're just like on the ground. They asked Aaron when he inflated them, do you want to spend like extra money to make them last longer? And he was like, I think it'll be fine. And then now they're on the ground. So but the big ones, like the ones that matter, are still there. So we have the engagement ring and a Mickey Mouse. So I'll take that. Yes, Aaron live reaction cam is back along with our doggo. I don't know what she's doing.
Being a sweetest a girl.
Being a goon. Yay, Hannah. Thank you for coming. I still have coffee in my spooky cup. I don't give a shit. Halloween's over. Who else is already planning an escape for Kobe? You guys. Ooh, yes. Thank you, James. I don't know
what the fuck is going on.
I know, I am too.
I have no idea.
Thank you, James, for the trigger warning. So this episode, there's a trigger warning, content warning for disordered eating, brief discussions of abortion, gaslighting, just like general, poor, distressing communication. Yes, Finley, the engagement ring is because of the Love is Blind stuff.
And then Mickey stuff is because Mickey's name is Mickey.
Yes, that is correct. Don't put it so close to my face.
There's two of them, but you can't see the other one.
Yay, Yael, thank you so much for coming. I'm so happy you get to be here. Yeah, fax machine, exactly. General fuckery warning. I watched a few other reactions just out of curiosity and didn't see any support for Zanab. What the fuck? Yeah, I think this is a nice segue.
What a segue.
Thank you, Margaret.
This is the beginning of the stream, so we will continue to refer back to this as well as this episode.
Yes, we're going to talk about this repeatedly. But with the Zanab situation, like before we even talk about it, I know that this episode, to be clear, I haven't seen any spoilers, but I do know that this episode is particularly divisive for folks about the like Zanab and Cole issue. And I want to be super clear. I've seen a couple of comments too from people expressing like strong distaste for me and for the streams and for the channel. Because I have the audacity to be a human being who has biases. And I want to be super clear from the jump. These streams, my content generally, all of this is intended to be destigmatizing mental illness and going to therapy and all those things, but also humanizing the profession, humanizing like therapists generally, humanizing myself. And so I just want to be very upfront, specific this time. I make this content as a human being who also happens to have a background in therapy and clinical social work. I have experience and degrees in that regard, but I am also, in fact, a human being.
You also have a background in being a trash gremlin.
That too. Yeah, I am a trash gremlin. But I just want to be super clear for those of you, like if you like this content and you're happy with that, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. And the vast majority of you are such wonderful, respectful, kind, and fabulous human beings. But if this content bothers you, or like seeing a therapist express opinions that don't align with your own bothers you, the world, the internet is like a wonderful big wide world that's filled with other content creators. There are also wonderful other therapist content creators on this platform.
There's also other wonderful therapist content creators on this platform.
Stop it. But there are other wonderful therapists on this content or this platform that make content from like a more blank slate therapist perspective. And so if that's a better fit for you, that's totally fine. But please don't be in my comments. Please don't be in my chat being like, how dare you have an opinion? Because like A, I'm allowed, but B, that's not what we do here. That's never what we've done here. I'm not really sure what your impression of this channel is. But I think we may have gotten lost along the way. So just as the boundary setting for myself, I want to be super clear that I do want to, discuss the nuance here and discuss like the layers and like different perspectives for the issues. But I am also just going to unapologetically be a human being because I can't turn it off. So
also,
thank
guys,
you.
We're watching reality TV live.
Yeah, that too. But thank you to all of you who have been kind and wonderful and fabulous. I love you guys the most. And I'm excited to exercise this demon and be done with this fucking series.
Thank you guys for hanging out and watching the whole thing with us.
Yeah. Please don't react to Love is Blind Brazil. We pretend it doesn't exist. I've heard Love is Blind Japan is pretty good though. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get into that eventually. But for those of you who are new here, what we're going to do, because Netflix is very protective of their content, we have an overlay over the footage, which makes it difficult to see, which I empathize with. I am really sorry that it's hard to see. However, the workaround that we found is that folks will turn on Netflix on their own device at home, just turn the volume off, and then sync their playback with mine. So I'll announce the timestamps as we pause and press play, so we can watch together still, but also the stream doesn't get straight up booted off of the platform.
You're aware other people post videos without it.
I know, for
we
real.
Don't know how.
If I don't know how people are doing that. I really don't. We've tried so many things. It doesn't work. I don't know if someone else has gotten like a key to the kingdom that I didn't get, and I just am like a redheaded stepchild on
and just for
the platform. I don't know.
When I have to render a video and it takes an hour to render and then 2 hours because the internet sucks to upload, and like 12 hours of the day goes by very quickly because I can't figure out how the fuck to get the video on YouTube.
Yeah,
like, that's why.
Aaron's salty about it.
That's how it is. If someone else knows the secret, let us know.
Big feelings. Hi, Equivalent Zucchini. Thank you for coming. Hi, Angie. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Don't forget to like the stream.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna do it live from my voice.
Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, if you guys haven't liked the stream, don't forget to like the stream. What are you doing? Oh, you're pulling out your phone. Okay.
Hey, look, a reminder for therapy.
I think that's all of the things. Hi, Christine. Is it possible to do Netflix watch parties? Maybe. It's something that we have experimented with on the Patreon. But I think we have a little bit more working to do. And also my fabulous patrons on that tier have been choosing to do other things. So we've just been vibing, doing other stuff there. But it's something that we have experimented with, that we are open to, particularly on Patreon, because it's a lot easier there. So if it's about the length of each clip, you can have... Oh, yeah, Carolina, that's not true. We thought that too. The length of the clip does not matter. We have gotten copyrighted for 1 second, 30 seconds. And the thing is that the content gets blocked. It's not just copyrighted. Yeah. We are happy to take the L on the AdSense money and just say, oh, well... because I do genuinely just care about the content, but Netflix literally will not let people view it. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. I think that's all of the things. Our puppy's being so needy. I think that's all the things. Don't forget to like the stream.
Thanks for being here and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Also, can they hear me? How's it? Oh, I don't even talk.
Yeah, I can see the thing flashing, so for sure they can see you.
For sure. Hi,
Elena. I've been watching all your replays, but I'm so excited to catch you live. Yay! I'm excited you're here. Thank you for coming. All right, we're gonna fucking do the damn thing. Here we go. We're pressing play on the Love is Blind reunion episode in 3, 2, 1. Hi, Dr. Courtney. Thanks for coming. Yeah, we've tried the less than 15 seconds thing. It doesn't work. We get murked every time. Yay.
I'm still in shock, shaking a little about some of the outcomes. I have so many questions. I
am very nervous about this.
Come to the right place because we've got answers today, right, guys? Sure do. Well, first off, how's everybody doing? How are you guys feeling? You guys good?
Very well.
You feeling all right?
Yeah. Nervous, excited.
All the above.
All of the above. Okay.
Raven, any jumping jacks you need to do before we get going? Push up.
Oh boy.
You good?
They made fun of her for the jumping jacks
thing. Guys. Well, as always, we set out this season to determine if love is truly blind. And I feel safe in saying a few folks
I don't know, maybe
either side of us here would agree that it is.
5 couples fell in love and got engaged in the pods, sight unseen.
Someone
and 4
said
weeks later, after
we're pausing already. Someone said in the last stream, does Netflix have a copyright on the phrase sight unseen? And now I can't unhear it. They use that phrase like 73 times a minute. Yeah, they really do. Especially when Nick and Vanessa are on the screen. They talk about like sight unseen, sight unseen.
Can we talk about what a absolute sensory nightmare that dress has to be?
Oh, honestly, it looks like it feels really nice.
Oh, really nice.
Juliana, thank you so much for the super chat. First time making it to a live chat, but your reactions have been getting me through and my sick partner through the week. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're sick.
Start feeling better.
Yeah, me too. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. We're excited to finish up the streams for this. So, I haven't seen the last episode yet, but I'm excited to finally be at a live. Yay, Freyla, me too. Okay. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Let's keep watching. We're at 1 minute and 2 seconds. Really crushing it. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
testing their love in the real world, these 2 couples said I do at their weddings and chose to spend the rest of their lives together.
Yeah!
Congratulations. We have Brennan and Alexa, and we have Matt and Colleen.
Oh, sorry for the
Hold
coffee
on. You guys are
ASMR.
still together, right?
Thank you, Fax Machine.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
The 3 other couples who took us on a wild ride with their love stories. Basically, the whole world has some questions burning for you guys. We also, I want to give you this little tidbit, have an exciting update about one of those 3 couples that you will learn about shortly.
Oh boy.
Update.
But first, the very first ones to find each other in the pods, Alexa and Brennan, their love truly never wavered. Everybody kept waiting for the rug to
they're
get pulled
so
out
cute.
from them, just like this is too good to be true, and it never happened. And we're so happy for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alexa
Finley,
famously
who has a
said that
gross
she
beard.
never wears an outfit twice. First of all, are you on the real? How are you getting rid of your clothes?
Are you
Like,
on the
are you
real?
giving them away? Are you selling them? Like, I'm dying to know.
Oh my God, they're gonna arrest me.
Okay, don't tell me. You return it. You can't return it. Oh my God, busted. Okay, wait. So here's a never before seen clip of Brennan seeing Alexa's closet for the very first time. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Sweating.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a nice walk-in closet.
When I said it's full, it's like she's full. I can clear out some.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff in this
jackets.
closet.
There's a lot of space in the back corner over there.
Yeah, but I don't like to have to like.
That's what I'm saying. These aren't spaced out. Those are like really spaced out. So there's enough
know, but I
room
like
back
to be
there.
able
You
to
were
like.
single, though, don't act like your shit wouldn't look the same way. You know,
I never said my shit did
There's a lot
look
of
like
work when you
this.
go
I wish we had
push
a
the
closet that
clothing
could fit
apart.
that much stuff.
Yeah, I'll get rid of like.
Thank you,
3
Rebecca, for the
jackets.
super
That's
chat.
nice.
Glad I can make a live at 3 a.m.
I
You're
only
feeding
have
my
3
daughter. Oh my
jackets.
gosh. Well, I hope going
I
or
have
feeding
clothes
your
I'm
daughter
wearing
is
now
going
and then
well.
3
Thank you for
jackets, so it's
coming.
perfect-
I have
perfect for me.
37 jackets.
Yeah.
Just.
I
in
wish I
here.
had
Do I just get a
37
drawer?
jackets.
Huh?
Do I get a drawer in here?
I would wear all
Drawer
of them.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out.
Also, we're pausing. Look at my Harry Styles jacket, you guys. Look at it. I bought this at the Harry Styles concert. Did you know that I saw Harry Styles earlier this week? Because I went to the Harry Styles concert. It was really fun.
Weird flex.
It was a birthday present. All right, sorry. We're pressing play. 2:54. 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
All right.
Hi,
Brennan, keep
Stefania.
it
Thanks
real
for
with us. How
coming.
much closet space are you actually getting these days?
She has a full walk-in closet. We have a 2-bedroom apartment.
I'll tell you guys
Second
about it on the
bedroom
Patreon,
is
Finley. It was
closet,
so
which
fun.
is a full walk-in closet. I have about half of it. So I have kind of a closet. It's just you kind of have to.
Oh, I
like,
love
shimmy in
Harry
there to do your
Styles.
stuff, so no problem.
All right, well, guys, Vanessa and I know how challenging it can truly be to have
Do
the
you,
world weigh
Nick?
in on your very personal
they?
journeys. But we were all, needless to say, very captivated by your stories. And I just want to commend all of you for being so honest and so forthcoming with your journeys.
Oh,
So
boy.
Really appreciate it.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you
we do
guys.
appreciate it. And there was some brutal honesty along the way. Hey, Cole.
Oh,
Sorry for the burp.
Hi,
first
bud.
off, how are you?
Hi, Robin. Thanks
I'm
for
all right.
coming.
Yeah?
We just got started.
Wait, you're wearing velvet. That was SK's thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Welcome to the club. Man. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
We want to talk about the
Oy.
pool party.
Oy
Yep, this is
vey.
where Colleen and Cole had a little chat. Cole, when you met Colleen, you weren't shy about saying, yeah, she's beautiful, I think she's hot. And Colleen,
Hi.
you weren't shy as well about reciprocating, saying, hey, okay, you're attractive as well. So, for those of you who may have missed the moment that carried a
Okay.
through
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire
May have
season,
missed it.
I missed
Right.
let's take a look at this.
Who missed this fucking moment?
How you doing?
What do you want to know?
Anything, everything.
Anything,
like
everything?
How's Zay? Like, what are do you have reservations?
Yeah, I told him on the past. We have
Zanab, yeah.
She's an amazing girl, but like, we do have.
Of course, they're showing us Zanab.
Like I said, it's not like.
Can I just? Okay, we're just gonna pause really quick.
Do you think she knows this happened yet?
Don't be
No.
a little bee.
I'm being serious. Do you think they would? Because this all came out all at the same time. Do you think at
Yes.
the reunion she think? Oh.
Zanab was directly involved.
Okay.
Remember, she was
Sorry, go
upset
on.
because she saw it happen and her feelings were hurt.
Okay, go on.
Oy vey. I just want to point out something really quickly. Again, like I know we've talked about how frustrated I am in the way that Netflix orchestrates this pressure cooker of an environment, but we're going to fucking talk about it again. Because this is such a good example of how we are like needlessly stirring up people's wounds, you know, for the sake of entertainment. Everybody fucking knows this happens. All of the people who were involved in this are well aware of the turmoil that it caused in their own personal lives and relationships. And yet here we are with Nick and Vanessa, who decided to show up for the first time, by the way, in like fucking 9 episodes to be like, let's relive it again. Like, why? Why are you doing this? I know why, but it's fucking shitty though.
I think Nick and Vanessa actually do have to watch it again because they haven't been a part of the show.
Because they haven't been
since
here.
The first episode.
Honestly, fair, but still, I would like to point out, like how manipulative this is on behalf of the like large corporation that's using people like little marionettes for our entertainment, and it bothers me. Yes, Fabian, exactly. Let's relive it once more in front of everyone. I really hope people close to Colleen help her get out. I'm wishing I could help her myself. Yeah, I think all of these people honestly are deserving of like support and love and help and like therapy mostly. I would love to see any of the TV networks institute a like free, voluntary, like if you want it, you have access to all of the therapy that you need for like X amount of time after the show has wrapped, because this phenomenon of like having your trauma and your life and your emotions filmed consistently for some length of time seems like it would be very traumatic.
We all know who they would give the deal. We all know where they would send
Don't
them.
say it. Don't. We're not doing that. We're not doing that today. All right, 4:42. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
The first, like, she was the first one I kicked out of.
Yeah.
If I just was basing this.
Aaron is tablet baby again today.
Yeah.
Who would your
Ooh.
for sure, like, you would be the person who I would give it to.
I'd approach her in a bar too, by the way.
Yeah.
We'd approach each other.
Yeah.
I knew that I would be physically attracted to you, but I was like, yeah.
But it was hard for you to say no to me. And I would never
I know you're cute.
It was hurtful the first time.
I know. It's
Hurtful
weird.
the second time.
in the real world.
Thank you, Margaret, for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for the streams. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for letting me make this content in a way that isn't overwhelming.
I physically connect with. Where's the in between?
I know
Is the perfect
the
girl.
music.
Oh.
Zanab, I know you knew of this situation, but seeing it's a different animal. How was it to watch that interaction between Cole and Colleen?
It stung. Like, I knew it existed, but obviously, you know, getting to see it firsthand was really something.
And I, like, kind
Of course.
so
Oh, boy.
it was really hard for me to watch. I get emotional, so I'm sorry, guys, if I cry. Because I love you so much, and I love you so much. And there's a reason why me and you didn't work out, and there's a reason why me and you are together, and a reason why you guys are together. And I never would ever want to disrespect y'all's relationship.
I know that.
I'm so sorry, and I love you so much.
I love you.
And I love you so much, and I'm just really, I don't know.
I know that, and I have the utmost respect for y'all's relationship.
Yeah, I have
I know
so
that.
much respect for you.
I do just want to highlight this. We've talked a lot about apologies on the channel. While I don't think this is like the world's most effective and healthy apology, it is really kind to see her say like, I am really sorry. I have respect for you. And just like acknowledge that openly, you know, generally in terms of like educating about apologies, one of the most useful things that we can do is to be authentic, to be upfront, and to actually include the words I'm sorry. Really owning the impact of the thing that we did that was hurtful is helpful, you know, in creating that repair attempt. Oh, sorry, everybody. We are paused at 6:51. Kudos to Zanab for not blaming Colleen at all in this. Yeah, I think this is another one of those moments where it's really easy for people to get sucked into that like misogynistic trope of like woman versus woman. And the reality is that everyone here, Finley, I can say pause from now on. The reality is that everyone here in this situation owns a little bit of responsibility for the hurt that took place. It's not like a women versus woman like duking it out type of thing. And like that's just like an old and tired trope. So I appreciate that they're like being respectful and civil to each other. Okay, we are at 6:51. We're gonna press play in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, the time at the end of the bar is 55:50. So 6:51 for the red bar and then 55:50 for the timer at the end if you're in the United States. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
I have like the utmost respect for you.
I think like what happened is that Cole never accepted that awareness of what he did was wrong as an engaged person with someone else. You don't cross that boundary. You don't say that honesty. Yeah, we all had honesty in the pods, but that shit cuts off as soon as you walk into that reveal. And so I think that was the issue with the men on our side, with a couple of them, is that they didn't stop having those inappropriate conversations.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to the streams. I appreciate you.
It just kept coming up, and it did seem like something that me as a crazy woman could not let go of. But I think it just didn't get resolved because I didn't get an apology for a very long time.
I can't believe you say that I didn't apologize, because that night we talked all night and all I did was apologize.
I didn't get an apology from you until dinner, like weeks later.
That's like insane, because I talked to Matt like a couple days later about it.
Maybe we don't use the word insane to describe it.
Thank you, Brennan.
No, I'm saying how that's crazy to say that.
Crazy is insane.
It's the same thing.
Wow. Okay. First of all, I want to pause because I think this is useful to discuss. A lot of times the tendency with apologies, especially when we're still very much in the hurt, and having a hard time owning accountability, is to do kind of a half-assed apology. Like we saw this with Cole. We talked about this. The like, I'm sorry. Okay. Like, I'm really sorry. And usually when you're on the receiving end of that, it doesn't feel very good. And so an apology is very different than an effective apology, than a genuine apology, than an apology that you're like really putting your whole ass behind, you know? And so if you are a person who is like feeling like you're having a difficult time moving past something, and you're noticing that the apology that you received didn't really feel genuine or sufficient, it's okay for you to voice that. Like, I recognize that you said I'm sorry. I think for me, I'm having trouble moving past it because the apology didn't feel genuine, or because it felt like you were apologizing out of obligation and not out of genuine remorse. Those are like different, and it's like a very okay thing for you to voice. Second of all, as if I needed another reason to love Brennan, love him for discouraging the use of insane and crazy and things like that. I don't talk about this on the channel a lot because it is a very common word in our shared cultural vernacular, and I don't like being the person who like polices people's language, but for what it's worth, calling things crazy or insane can be very hurtful, and it is inherently an ableist term. And so if you want to move away from using that, I would encourage you to do that. I lean towards using words like wild or interesting or curious or whatever. Brennan is our non-toxic cowboy, and we stand. Yes, he is. Hi, Mickey and Aaron. First time I caught you live. Yay! Thank you so much for coming, Fabiola. All right, hold on. I'm not going to rewind the chat. The chat is like really flying today. Also, let me know if the chat starts to get too overwhelming, and the majority of us would prefer that I put it on slow mode. I can do that. I haven't needed to as of yet. But if we need to, let me know. Ashley, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Okay. We're going to press play. We're at 7:47 and the timer at the end is 54:46. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
synonym.
Maybe let him talk. Let him.
Thank you so much, Ashley. That means a lot. I appreciate it.
Find a different word. I think that you're lying to say that I didn't apologize for 2 weeks.
Brendan, you seem pretty impassioned about this whole scenario.
Kind of it's a bugaboo of mine, I guess. I don't know. I don't like other people disrespecting others, and it seemed like time and time again, Cole just continually disrespected his fiance.
Oh yeah, Sarah, banana pancakes.
Beyond
It's
what,
a good one.
Like that situation, I feel like is so small compared to
It's
a
just-
lot of the other things he did that are not shown in it. Like watching it is infuriating. Like knowing what he did to her.
I can't imagine. Whenever I got down on a knee and
Interesting.
proposed to her, that to me, that's promising your life to that other person. So basically, what
Valid.
that tells me is not only is he being disrespectful to Zanab, but now your word isn't worth anything at this point.
I think he's deceitful.
It seems like your venom is directed more at Cole than it is at Colleen. Do you find fault with Colleen in that scenario, or is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, there definitely is. And I think the way that it was handled afterwards, y'all talking about it, y'all discussing it, I thought that was huge.
Now or later?
I know, poor
Being
Colleen.
in this situation, yeah, it was an incredibly
She seems very sensitive and like
disrespectful
same girl.
conversation to both of our relationships. That being said, I do have to commend Colleen for coming
Because
to
it
me
didn't
that
fucking
night
freak the fuck
and
out.
immediately saying, "This is what happened. This is what I said." You know, I did kind of lose my cool a little bit.
Kinda.
And after watching the scene, you know, she told me everything. She told me there wasn't anything that surprised me after watching it that she didn't already tell me. So
Totally my fault. I should have never let it get there. I was caught up in the moment. So.
Yeah.
Okay. I do, yeah, kinda a little bit.
Say pause.
Pause. Sorry, we're pausing. We're at.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're at 9:37. Timer at the end says 52:57.
Yeah, he said kinda.
I know, kind of. I think is a bit generous.
There's gonna be like 10 trigger warnings on that video.
I know, yeah, there was so many trigger warnings on that video, and a lot of folks talked about how overwhelming it was to watch someone behave in that way, because it mirrored behavior that was traumatic to them and other experiences. So I do want to address that. How come Cole knows how to apologize to men but never has that genuine of an apology for Zanab? Honestly, Juliana,
Valid
solid fucking
question.
This is something that we talked about in the episode where they're all at the bar together. Cole and Matt both did a very effective job of apologizing, of owning responsibility, of being frank, clear, open, and honest with each other. But then when it came time for them to do that with their partners, it seemed like there was some kind of breakdown. And I don't know if that was like a genuine breakdown of skill or if that was a lack of ability or desire to do that with their partners, but it is an important distinction to point out. The other thing that I wanted to talk about here is the comment that Alexa and Brennan made that like what was shown was just a small portion of like what actually happened, blah, blah, blah. I think this is another great moment for me to highlight that even though we as human beings are very much going to have thoughts and feelings and opinions about reality TV, I very much want to discourage people from wrapping up someone's whole personhood based on the things that we're seeing on TV, because it's highly edited. It's very much curated. Netflix has been publicly dragged for their intentional portrayal of events being dishonest. They did this with the reunion from season 2. Netflix really doesn't have a great reputation in terms of representing the sequence of events accurately. That's literally the whole point of them having opaque metal wine glasses, is so that they can rearrange the cuts in whatever way they want to without the viewer being able to deduce like, oh, their cup was full a minute ago, now it's empty, so this has been cut together weird. So like, please very much, if you take nothing else away from this content, be aware reality TV is intentionally curated to emotionally manipulate us as the audience. And so it is not fair or like safe or like an ideal thing to be doing to speak prescriptively about a person's whole personhood and worthiness for love and belonging and all those things generally, but especially based on what we're seeing on reality TV. I fell asleep during Two Lives. Totally fair, Christine. I don't want to character assassinate him, but I felt personally attacked by Cole's bipolar. Yeah, super fair. And I think that's also an important distinction, that like when we do see something like the bipolar comment, that's like a pretty open and shut, like he said this, you can't like manipulate that edit. Like it was pretty clearly not a Franken edit. He said it was hurtful, and people are allowed to feel how they feel about it. Thank you so much, Daughter of Kalika, for the super chat. So happy I could finally watch one of your lives. Looking forward to hearing your take on how Nancy and Bartise fare in the reunion. I am very curious to see that too. Hopefully we don't take all goddamn day to get through this episode like we did yesterday. Catherine, thank you so much for the super chat. Can we talk about how Matt seems to hear things that weren't said and not hear things that were said and not remembering things? Feels scary to talk. Yeah, I'm curious about that too. I'm assuming he's going to speak more about that in a minute, but I'm curious to see if we address the like whatever happens comment that he was under the impression was said that seems like it wasn't said. Sorry for the burps, everybody. All right, we are at 9:39. Timestamp at the end says 52:57. And we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Now let's shift our focus a little bit to Raven and SK.
You guys, without a doubt, for me, this was one of the most heart-wrenching moments right now. Watching your mother put the veil on her, I was done. Yeah. I was done. I sat there, and just because also your family wasn't there. Yeah. And that is such a beautiful bonding of the women. But to watch her sit there and say, and you say, I do not, it was like, my heart fell to the floor. I couldn't believe it. Raven, were you blindsided by that moment as well?
Clearly, I was very, very, very emotional that day, and I'm like trying not to be emotional. So it's not that I wouldn't use the word blindsided. I think I was just unprepared for. I hadn't prepared myself. But like I was a little shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
did
curious,
she know
like,
or did she
ultimately
not
you
know?
did say I do not. But at what point did you know that was going to be your answer?
Right. So for me, it was also equally as difficult, especially like having, you know, a lot of my friends, family there. I didn't know until the very moment when the question was asked, honestly. To me, I just feel like we would be going through much more trouble going forward with me saying yes. Did I want that ultimate happy ending? Absolutely. But me having to leave and, you know, her not wanting to move at the time, all those things put together was what really ultimately led me to say no.
You didn't know until the moment?
Yeah.
Did you know
Yeah.
that he
It
didn't know
felt
until
very in the moment.
until he was standing there with you and he was like, I do not?
Yeah, I believe
Oh,
it.
boy.
Like, it's standing up there. We were both so nervous and shaky. And so again, like, I just didn't know what to expect. I'm like, he's feeling this anxiousness, anticipation because he's going to say yes, or is he feeling this anxiousness
You
because
felt
he's
his
going to
energy, but you didn't know what it was. You're like,
Exactly.
something is here.
Exactly. And so I was just like, okay, like, it's not like I went up there and he was like frowning, you know? Then I would have been like, okay, like, I know what's about to come.
Okay, pause. We are at 12:06 and the timer at the end says 50:32. I do want to talk about this because we talked in the show or the earlier stream about how the like blindsiding of people is like inherently a shitty thing to do. I don't know to what degree Netflix encourages or discourages transparency about their answers before, because we've heard couples from season 1 say that they had discussed what they were going to say on the day before it actually happened. I don't know if Netflix heard about that and didn't like it, or if the producers just discouraged them from talking about it, or if this like is just a naturally occurring phenomenon that the couples didn't want to talk about it. Regardless, I think it's fair to say that behaving in a way that indicates like, I'm going to say yes on the day, and then saying no in front of a bunch of people is a shitty thing to do, right? However, I do also want to be clear that like, while the way that it happened is hurtful and not something that like I as a clinician want to be like, yeah, go do that. Like, I'm not endorsing that behavior. I also don't want to endorse people watching the show and thinking that like this very accelerated timeline is like a norm or is like a safe thing for relationships. We have talked at length about like fundamentalism content that does the same thing, where they advocate for very short dating, very short engagement for the purpose of like remaining sexually pure for the wedding or whatever. regardless, we know that accelerating that timeline with the end goal of like marriage at all costs is not always a safe option for all people. And so this is a good moment, I think, to honor that like both things are true at the same time. It seems wild to me that people just reject their partner at the altar like that. Yeah, Christine, I think a lot of people are like weirded out by the setup of the show, because it is like an inherently hurtful setup. And I've said from the beginning, I wish that they would lower the stakes to be like, let's get engaged at the end, or let's move in together at the end, or like, I don't know, something that's just less emotionally traumatizing than putting on the wedding outfit and standing up there and then being rejected in front of your friends and family, as if rejection is not painful enough already.
Also, everyone's talking about it too, but like the Vanessa thing, like I was like, I don't know if I was the one that felt the way too, but they're like, oh, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
Like, I think
it is
a
like
lot of practice with empathy.
Yeah. Melina said, qualified and compassion AF with successful marriage and wouldn't even talk about them twos. Yeah, Vanessa tearing up is interesting. Nick and Vanessa are slimy AF. The whole, oh, we love you guys so much, we just want to help you all get married. Yes, very much that.
Do they?
Well, and also, like, if that's really true, why are we putting people in a pressure cooker environment that doesn't lend itself to them behaving in a way that's maybe reflective of their best selves, you know? Like, I think if you locked me down in a pod with no ability to, like, talk with my support system, regulate my emotions, use my normal coping strategies.
Not be able to watch TikTok.
That too. Not have my fucking phone. I'd start to lose it. Like, I'd start to be pissy and shitty, and for sure I would not be my best self. We talked about this in yesterday's stream too, that if somebody filmed all of our interactions, especially during emotionally charged conflict, people would think that we are the worst people on the face of planet Earth. Like, this is a very common and human thing. People behave in conflict and in emotionally charged ways that maybe aren't reflective of their best selves, you know? And so I do just like hesitate to throw the book at people for behaving in ways that are like unbecoming when their environment sets them up for failure. Yes, this should be called the Isolation Struggle Love Experiment. Yeah, I think that's like a more apt name. Nick and Vanessa should be replaced by 2 therapists.
No,
Honestly,
they want you to get married so bad that they're not going to give you any support.
Well, and I don't know how I feel about that either, because like the show's premise itself is not really set up for success anyway. So I think like adding therapists for sure would mitigate some of the harm, but I don't know to what degree it would like actually be that helpful. It puts viewers in this mindset of choosing a side, which isn't always helpful. Yes, Basidian, exactly. I think a lot of times when we watch shows like this, we get sucked into this culture where like the show's premise is just like so normal, and of course these are our only 2 options, when like they're not, you know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of different choices that someone could make in this situation that don't have to be like an either or. Yes, say hello to Olivia, everybody. She is a stage 5 clinger. She is very much Aaron's puppy. I joke all the time that I'm the spare human because they love Aaron so much. Is it fair to try to change your uneducated, bigoted significant other, or should you find someone else more woke? I don't know that I want to speak on that, honestly, because I don't know if that's a question for you specifically or just a question generally, but I do really hesitate to give specific advice on this channel because I can't do that. This is meant to be broad strokes education and entertainment content, not specific advice, and it is certainly not a replacement for therapy. That is definitely a question you can weigh out with your own therapist if you have one or you have the means to find one, though. Thank you. Your dog and I have the same. Okay, we are at like 12:09. The timer at the end says 50:32. We are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
So, I mean, when we were on the altar, like
Juliana, yes,
he takes that inhale and he's like, it felt like a movie. He literally took like 5 minutes to say, I do not. Like, it felt fake. Like, oh, this is literally what you see in the movies. Like,
so that whole hesitation for me right there was me trying to put everything together and looking at my mom, like, you know, knowing how much she wants me to get married and how much they put into the process. It really came down to, do I want to do this to please all these people? Or do I want to do this, like,
what is Vanessa doing
at this very moment?
So have you guys talked since then, been out since then, hooked up since then?
Is Vanessa okay? Listen, we're pausing every 5 seconds. We're paused at 12:42.
Also, when you say pause, after you paused, I don't even catch it.
I'm sorry. We paused at 12:42. The timer at the end says 49:50.
I'm giving you a hard time.
I've talked about this before. We didn't watch the reunion for season 2, I don't think. Did we? I don't fucking know. Who cares? What?
It's just fun watching my hand.
Oh, you're such a child. I don't know that we watched the reunion for season 2, but we talked about this before, that Nick and Vanessa have this tendency to try and conduct themselves like therapists, like so how are things going in the meantime? Tell me more about that. Like, stop it. First of all,
this is what therapy is like. Wrong channel.
Yes,
wrong channel.
Correct. I do want to be very clear. Sorry, I do want to be super clear. Therapists don't do this, or like sometimes we do. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I will for sure pull out the like, say more about that, as like, you know, like a joke.
You don't leave it with that, I'm sure. Like,
but like, and again, like some therapists do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is frustrating to me that they're, first of all, like trying to masquerade as like the conflict resolution team for this fucking arrangement when like you put them here. Hello. I guess they didn't specifically, but whatever. And B, representing this style of conflict resolution as like the normal thing that happens. Like, that's not always true. Sometimes therapy looks like this, and sometimes therapy looks like therapists being like super chill and like sitting cross-legged in their seat and being like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. Or that's wild, or what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, therapists just kind of say normal human things sometimes. That's like the whole goal of the fucking channel here. So it's 98 degrees. You guys can't steal my joke.
I forgot about that. Oh, that was the funniest shit you made.
That we actually, Aaron and I laughed for like 5 minutes when we filmed that, and we had to cut all of that out because that shit was funny as hell. What?
That would require you to do it.
What?
I said you should go back and clip that clip.
All right, I'll go back and clip that clip.
You won't, though.
Aaron is nagging me. All right.
I think the videos get made. This channel doesn't run without me nagging.
We're at 12:52. Timer at the end says 49:50, and we are pressing play.
You said that shit on the fly, babe.
Thank you. I know. I'm so funny. Good for me.
Just jerk
all right.
yourself off a little bit before you press play.
Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
But yes.
Yeah. So are y'all dating right now?
Yeah.
Yay, I'm happy that they're together. This is my ideal outcome. Look at them. Yes, I appreciate Aaron's nagging too.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
They're
happy
cute.
for you guys.
I know.
And we put you at the furthest points of the couch. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I know.
There will be
Nah.
time.
Good little, like,
How can
view
we
of
do
each
that
other.
together?
Oh wait, now I'm.
I've said this from the beginning that this is my ideal outcome. Sorry, I paused. I paused again. Awful at remembering to say that. We're at 13:17. This is my ideal outcome, like, for this show. However, I wish that they would have been able to sit down with each other and be like, hey, we're saying no, you say no, I'm saying no, so that we can just date normally. Awesome. See you at the altar, babe. Like, I wish that was the scenario that had happened.
I don't.
I will not be with you. I wish that was the situation. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and I think it was emotionally difficult, probably for both of them, but particularly for Raven. However, I do want to say, like, fucking big high five. I'm very excited for Raven and SK for giving themselves the time and the space to say, you know what? We want to be together, but we just don't feel good about making this legally binding, very difficult to undo decision right now. And so we're going to pursue a relationship, be responsible adults with one another, and see where the fuck this goes. So, like, I love that. Yes, I for sure would tell Aaron, see you at the altar, bitch. No, I am happy that they're doing this, though. I don't in a coordinated high five. Yes, those are the vibes. Like, can we get a whole season where all of the couples decide to say, fuck this premise, we're just going to date normally at the end? I would love that. I would absolutely freaking
I would love if we
lose my mind.
We should go on the show and see if we ended up with each other in the pods. Like, everyone got a vocoder, though, so you couldn't everybody talk like
I was going to say, I'd pick you out in like 12 seconds
if
flat.
everyone had like little robot voice things, like you had a little kid, like little microphones, and then you would be like, Am I falling in love? Like, you would legit then
but,
have to fall in love because you wouldn't be able to hear his voice or...
Okay, yes, but also you and I both have very specific, like, vocal idiosyncrasies. I would pick you out of a lineup.
You love the way you look one time.
Or I'd say any of the things that are like a meme now that have been turned into merch and you'd be like, that's her. There she is. And then you would say that. And we both start laughing and be like, that's it, we're done. We got to go.
We beat the show.
I do like the idea of a vocoder, though. That's really funny. All right, 13:17, 49:17 is the timer at the end, and we are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
See more of the velvet down the front.
Oh, Lord. But so funny, like, we're watching this, and he's
some
like,
socks,
oh my God, babe, like, I have to show you. I'm getting so many DMs. And so, like, I was like,
stop it. These women are coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, because SK is great.
Stay out of my man's DMs. Yes. Like, oh my God. I see y'all, ladies.
You bring out a side of Raven that, like, a lot of people don't get to see. Because I love my girl, but she's a tough shell to crack.
Tell me about it.
When you do break her open, she's so tender and so sweet and so loving.
Speaking of
but
that,
you brought that out of her.
Speaking of razzle dazzle, like, she goes to bed at 9 o'clock. Like,
hold on, pause. What happened?
When you don't put your socks the right way, it's very frustrating.
No, Aaron's upset at me for the way I put my socks away. Can you just put some socks on my feet, please? Thank you. Remember I told you guys yesterday that Aaron and I joke that I am baby, and then I asked him to get me stuff? This is what was my... Ow! Why are you putting it on my foot like that? All right, sir. you put this... This sock is on backwards, baby. Yeah, it is. Ew, this is my sensory nightmare, you guys.
This is hell. Hell is be wearing his shoes on the wrong feet.
Yeah, it is. I hate it. Is this a fetish? No, it is not. My feet are just cold. Look. I feel like we're seeing a moment. Nope, just have cold feet and I am baby.
Your feet swell up when you're in your period?
I don't know.
Is that like a thing?
These are your socks.
Those are not my socks.
Listen, I have to put my own socks on now. Cabrón, what the fuck is this? What is...
Don't show those on the screen. Hurry up. This is distracting. Put the show back on. Put the show back on. Put the show back on.
The sock was dead ass on backwards. Doesn't your puppy let your feet to keep them warm? I wish she did. Our dog, for sure, like, she loves us. She wants to be on us all the time. Ew, bot, get out.
How'd you know? What'd they say?
Get out. They said find love on the best dating site.
The best dating site? Clearly I've never been on Tinder because that's the best dating site.
Oh my God. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh no, our dog is like so lovey. She's so clingy. But like in the way where she like wants to wear our skin to her birthday party. You know what I mean? Not in the like, oh, I just want to be buddy with you. Like she wants to be inside of our bodies all the time. She will not let it go. I wish I could show what she's doing right now. Oh, I almost spilled.
Press play and watch the show.
All right, we're pressing play. 14:01, and the timer at the end says 48:34. In 3, 2, 1.
It's like very, very surprising.
Well, look at that skin. I mean, come
on. Gemma Bell, I agree, but Aaron won't get one.
So I love this, and we were just talking about it. We know, like, you're in Dallas, you're in California. How is that for you guys? Do you find that it's like taking, it's allowing your relationship to grow in a level that you're excited about because you're continuing to do what you want, you're missing him and vice versa?
Our communication, like, I think I can speak for both of us. Like, we've never been on this level in any other relationship. Like, every time I feel like we reach a new level and like nothing's perfect, but we've grown so much from this experiment, first of all, from what we went through, from being apart. It makes it so much better when we're together. I feel like, of course, I'm
happy for Raven
prefer
too.
To be with him every day, but we've grown so much from it, and like it's really beautiful to do that.
Before we move on, there is something that people were curious about while watching, and this is the dynamic between Nancy and Raven. We have video, of course. Let's take a look.
Oh no. Nancy is like that person, like,
oh no,
you see in Walmart from high school and you're like, you know, like, hey, but also like, I might act like I'm busy and we don't have to talk.
You see?
Raven seems to be very, like, playful, but also she's a little negative. Like, I can't. I'm done.
What?
Honestly, I was kind of surprised that she was on the top of your list. And I was like, Raven? Like, I was really taken aback because we're very different. If homegirl shoots her shot with Bartise, then I'm gonna let Bartise figure that out.
Yo, the music they added in.
It gets you in it.
Such a little beat. No. I mean, I think, you know, Nancy and I really, like, for pod time, lounge time, we did not spend a ton of time together.
Yeah,
you don't see,
that's
there's
clear.
Like so many other girls in the lounge, right? So I don't know. Like, I feel like we talked about it, and there was never any shooting of the shot, like, clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we didn't get to know each other well enough, so we were both kind of going off of first impressions.
Yeah, because
Yeah, okay, so I want to address this. Raven looks like so deeply embarrassed that she ever said these things. Sorry, we paused. We're at 16:39, and the timer at the end says 46:01. Raven looks so deeply embarrassed that she ever said this, and I think this is like a nice demonstration of how sometimes people say stuff. I think particularly on reality TV, sometimes people say stuff without like the full awareness for how this is going to play out later on. You know what I'm saying? Especially because the talking heads are happening in like, in theory, like isolation, right? Like it's the person and the production crew and that's it. And so it feels like a one-on-one conversation, except that you're being filmed. And so it would not surprise me at all if these people are saying and doing stuff because they have this like false sense of security, and because they're probably, in my opinion, not prepped for like how to do reality TV. And so like things get said and people do stuff that again is not reflective of their best selves, not because they're shitty people, but because like being on reality TV and being on camera honestly is like confusing and it's like scary. Yes, got to create drama between the women because they're just sweet to each other. Yeah. I think this is another thing too that like Netflix didn't have to bring this up. This was like such a non-issue. I think almost everyone had forgotten about this exchange.
That's how, like, of all the things that went on in the show, this is what we're bringing back up.
Yes,
like,
because we're just bringing up useless
Netflix
drama
said,
for the sake of.
We're gonna get a fucking hour out of this, and
Yes.
we fucking figure it out.
Yeah, we are not done emotionally traumatizing y'all. We're gonna do it some more. Literally, there's no reason. Yes, exactly. All right, we're at 16:47. The timer at the end says 46:01, and we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
I didn't actually know that Raven was his top until he had
like, just
two
as long
left.
as you're not talking about us,
I was
thank
actually
God.
shocked when he said, you know, I'm between you and Raven or something like that in the pods, and so I think my face was like, what? So I think it was just people dating people that were dating.
Of course,
Make me
it's
less
just
cranky.
in the heat of the moment, emotions. Like I said, like Nancy and I didn't really know each other.
Oh,
but,
Melanie did.
I'm
That's
just
a good
like,
point.
Oh my God, like it's the growth for me. Like, you know, Nancy really is my girl, and I would never want her to feel bad about something I said. Like, I love her, I support her. So it was hard to watch, and
Yeah.
I'm sure like hard for you to watch. So
I'm really proud of at least us girls that we continued to get closer. There was
Mhm.
never any strain. There was never animosity
nice.
between anybody. We all really got
Yeah,
close.
let's ask Matt some questions.
I think on the men's side, I'm going to speak a little bit for the men. For me, one of the biggest things I'm taking away from this experience is for the very first time, I was in an environment with 14 other guys where
Hi,
it was
Alicia.
actually absolutely okay to talk about your feelings. And guys don't always
Oh.
do that every day.
Right.
So like we would come back and like console each other. Like some people would come back and just go
Interesting.
sit in the corner and to just give them their space. But to me, I don't think I've ever seen an environment where multiple guys
You're
are
too
in
sensy.
the same place and also dating each other's girls and still be able to like just express your feelings and pour your heart out. And to me, that's like an experience I'm going to take with myself forever.
To me, that's one of the coolest things.
Not interested. Pause. I think this is super interesting, and I guess something that we had kind of talked about before, but not really to this extent. I think it's super interesting that SK was talking about how supportive the environment felt for men to be like emotionally transparent with each other.
To be clear, hold on.
What? Aaron has something to say. What?
Here's our list of ideas.
Hey, don't show all of those. Oh my God. Aaron's like really outing our content ideation, which is also a mess, by the way. We do it on Post-it notes now.
I came up with this idea for the video.
Okay, I came up with the Post-it note idea. You came up with this video idea. And I already know which one you're going to pull out. It says, can I just tell them?
Yeah.
It says bro culture. If you haven't...
Romance.
Yeah, that. If you haven't watched... Welcome to Wrexham on Hulu. Highly recommend because it's just like super fun, first of all. Even as a person who knows nothing about sport ball, I found it very interesting. But they have like a whole segment of an episode that's dedicated to discussing the like toxic masculinity thing that happens with like the term bromance, where like women are allowed to just be friends with each other, but men have to have a bromance. And I thought it was super interesting. And so we're thinking about talking about it on the channel. Aaron suggested it, to be clear. But I think this is kind of an interesting intersection of those things. Yep. Wrexham, bromance culture. There it is. Because this is very true. We actually talked about this in one of the earlier streams that like, from the research we know, even in, conversations about emotions or like direct conversations or like emotionally vulnerable direct conversations, men tend to do the thing where instead of sitting face to face and making eye contact, they prefer to sit further away and also like at an angle to one another so that they don't have to look each other in the eyes or something. It's a really interesting way that the patriarchy has negatively affected men's ability to be authentic and honest about their emotions because they are so heavily criticized and stigmatized for that. When in reality, being emotionally vulnerable is a morally neutral, but also perfectly human and common thing. Yeah, society has a weird way of twisting every male relationship into something. Well, yeah, and it's almost like we have to sort of make a joke out of it so that it doesn't come off as like, oh, we actually like each other. Like, we're not allowed to just be genuine and being like, yeah, I love him. Like, that's my friend and I love him. It has to be like a joke. It has to be like a, oh, you just have a bromance thing. Like, men are societally like negatively reinforced for having that level of disclosures. I think this is interesting. I am curious, men sharing emotions and supporting each other over toxic. Yes, Christine. Big agree. Yes, it's the like no homo thing too that comes up a lot. As if being honest that you love and value your friend automatically means that you're sexually interested in them. It's a whole deep dive. We're not going to go into it now because that's not the point of this stream. But I do think this is. We are. Huh?
No, I said then we wouldn't be able to make the video.
Yes, that's correct. So we are going to make a video about that eventually, but I just wanted to touch on that. All right, we are at 18:08. We're pressing play, and the timer at the end says 44:26. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
About this. Well, guys, Cole certainly wasn't the only one expressing feelings for someone else's fiance. Bartise, it was clear that you were taken aback by Raven's physical appearance upon seeing her for the first time. Let's go ahead and take a look at that moment.
Reunion footage.
Nancy looks so uncomfortable.
I'd love to see everybody for the first time. Raven's like the typical girl that I would go after in the real world. Like Raven's, she came down, she wearing the tight clothes. I was like, okay, she's a fucking smoke show. She's hot as shit. I was like, okay, we're both like the person that people come to, and we both draw attention. They see Raven, they see me, they say, okay, that's the person I want to go talk to because they look good. Me and Raven.
I know. Raven said, please leave me alone.
So similar. I literally cried because of you and Raven.
I didn't know that.
Damn.
It's actually worse.
Nancy and Raven.
It is worse the second time.
I'm literally having feelings for multiple women right now.
Oh
but
my
you,
God. Oh my God.
You were up here, right? So it was like, damn.
He's like, see how sweet that is?
I really think he thought he was doing something.
Aren't you so cute?
So it was a wild night. It was a wild night for me. Are you cool with me being that honest with you?
Oh, Nancy looks so hurt. Ugh.
Like, what the fuck?
Again with the music.
This was the first time when Nick and I were watching it that I stood up and I looked at the TV and my heart was in my throat and I was like, oh my God. I'm sure you too, Bartise.
Oh, yeah.
But this was the first time, Raven, you saw this side of it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
It was a lot of things. I mean, shocking. Like, I'm thinking after the pods, like, after we had that conversation at the pool party, I'm like, oh, like,
Juliana, yes.
It's whatever. It's nothing, right? We're both happy in our relationships. So first it was really shocking. And then I was really sad because, like, I love SK, and I feel like it put him in a weird place.
And I really, really appreciate her for, shutting that down.
You know, I would never want my fiance to feel disrespected. I love Nancy. I would never want Nancy to feel disrespected.
Was there a part of you that regretted having cut it off in the pods? Once you saw how she looked?
Why are we asking that question?
No,
This
there
is
was
so
no part of me
unnecessary.
that was like, I should have picked Raven over Nancy.
Not to protect you, because I'm tired of protecting you, but what I really appreciated about you, Bartise, is that everything you said behind my back at the group, meaning she's the smoke house or smoke program or something. Smoke show, right?
Smoke program.
Like saying that and then coming to bed and then you said exactly word for word what you said behind camera. That gave me a sense of like, okay, so it's brutal fucking honesty.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but like it's still brutal honesty. So thank you, but also like find a better way.
I'll say it was hard to watch that. I
Yeah.
felt, like, embarrassed and ashamed of myself for making the comments to you, because that's obviously disrespectful to 3 people here, right?
Mhm.
And now I'm disrespecting myself by having done that. So I apologize to everybody for letting it get to that point. But
Okay.
They always, I'm like, oh, this might be okay, and then they go, but
Yeah.
actually everything I did say, I would do it again.
Yes. Also, sorry, we paused. The timestamp is 21:48, and the timestamp at the end says 40:57. Hi, Birdie. Thanks for coming to the live. This is so painful. First of all, if you don't call me smoke program for the rest of our lives,
I'm calling you Smoke Machine because you produce so much smoke.
Guys, I just got a new nickname. Smoke. What is Smoke Machine? Is that what I'm called? Yeah, Smoke Machine. That's me. But second of all, this, like, I can appreciate what Nancy's saying, especially in regards to the way that Cole and Zanab had their conflict at the pool party play out, where Cole wasn't as honest with Zanab as Bartise was with Nancy. However, I do want to highlight that this is a common thing. People hide behind this a lot of like, oh, I'm just super honest, like I'm just an honest person. I'm just really blunt. And like, that's just the way that it's going to be. And if you don't like it, like, don't be my friend. Like, fair, I guess. And also sometimes that begs the question, whether we are actually being honest, or like whether we're being honest in a way that is like kind and compassionate, or we're just giving ourselves permission to say any and all of the things that enter our brain. It is entirely possible to be fully and completely and brutally honest and also be kind and respectful and empathic, particularly when we're speaking to our partner, the person who we claim to want to marry, the person that we are like in love with or want to be with. It is very much possible to do both. And sometimes people hide behind the like, well, I'm just brutally honest, and so that gives me an excuse to be mean. Not necessarily. Sometimes it is really hard to hear things that are honest. And so like brutal honesty can mean like telling your friend or telling your partner, like, that was a shitty thing to do, or that really hurt my feelings, or I really didn't like that, or yes, I did have thoughts about this, or blah, 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 whatever. But it's entirely possible to do that in a way that's still kind and empathic. Why you guys are Mickey's a whole smoke wildfire of the whole state of California on fire. Y'all, what is going on in this chat? Hi Helen. We are 21:40, and the timer at the end says 40:57. Also, this is unrelated, but does Nick have like a cockroach on his sweater?
It's a design, it's a logo, I'm sure.
It looks like a cockroach.
Now I'm using that TikTok.
Yeah, welcome to the smoke program with Mickey. Oh my God, we're renaming our podcast. It's now the smoke program with Mickey and Aaron.
Damn, I was like, I just got kicked right the fuck off this podcast.
It's the smokehouse. Welcome to the smokehouse, ladies and gentlemen.
That sounds like we're gonna make some pork butts and stuff.
Aren't we though? I was late to Zoom work because I was so invested. Sarah, oh my gosh. I love that for you, but also please feel free to take care of your work stuff. I'm polyam and I have to listen to dudes talk about how hot and sexy and awesome other women are that they're seeing all the time. I think a lot of men do not realize how weird and kind of something that is, but they can learn not knowing doesn't make it okay, especially once your partner has said they are hurt. Yeah, Caroline, I think that's such a good point. It's totally okay to go into situations trying to be honest and maybe fumbling that a little bit. Sorry, someone in the chat just said Nick Cockroach Lachey. Like a wrestling name. Welcome to the ring, Nick Cockroach.
He picks up all the trash from the trash man.
Oh, you guys are gonna get sued for defamation anyway.
I don't think they care about you, babe. Only Netflix.
You know, I didn't think BetterHelp would care either, but they're up in my guts. Anyways, I think that's a good point, though, Caroline, that you can go into a situation with ignorance and maybe trying to be brutally honest and kind of fumbling that a little bit. But if you're open to hearing, God damn it, you guys, this is a disaster. If you're open to hearing feedback from your partner and you can like really take that in to say like, oh, like I was trying to be honest, but I see now that like it was honest and also mean, that you can like merge those two together. Like, how do you think I could have phrased that to feel safer, feel nicer for you? Like, is there a particular word or phrase that I used that was really hurtful? This is like really useful dialogue to be having with your partners. So I do want to encourage.
You have to just press play. You have to just press play.
All right, let's see what Nick Roche has to say.
Press play.
Press play. 21:44, and the timer at the end says 40:57. We are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
I do want to say that, like, I don't think the feelings were inappropriate because this experiment is so unique, and the connections that we made were so fast and so fresh that I think it might make sense that two of us were having those thoughts. But I want to say that the inappropriateness came from the way we handled those thoughts and not those feelings. Like, we're human beings.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Brutal honesty or not, I've never been the guy to be like insecure about people hitting on my girl.
Because he's a king.
Like
we love
it's something that comes with the territory. My girl is a baddie. She was pretty popular in the pods. It was like the Hunger Games of dating. Like everybody was like having different, you know, multiple dates and relationships.
No, Nick,
hi, Danita.
I went on Love Is Blind to find a wife, not a one-night stand. And for me, it was very important to not put the looks as primary. So funniest thing, and you know, a lot of people didn't know this, I didn't even know what Pilates was going into Love Is Blind. So I had to Google what Pilates was and how Pilates
I love the thought of SK
look.
Googling
so
Pilates.
Not like primary for me, it was secondary.
Oh, so she's like, I'm a Pilates instructor. You're like, oh, okay. Like a pilot instructor? Oh, babe.
Regardless of what
That's
it is,
cute.
one of the things that I just thought was really bizarre was like, this whole thing came from me and you having a conversation with Cole about our very first next day. And, you know, it was like a bro conversation, like man to man, like, hey, this is where we're at. Like, our first night was like this, right? So to you to like take something that we had in conversation as guys to your fiance that you just went on one knee to promise to marry her and have that conversation with her and then reenact the whole thing that we said during our conversation, to me was just like, what sort of brutal honesty is that? And
it's childish. I think I think that's like, those are the examples of like, I'm sorry, Bartise, but like you were 25.
to me, I feel that was very inappropriate. And you know, like, I don't know if that happened to me in like a different situation. Like, I don't know if I
These
would like,
two laughing.
we're still bros the next day. To me, that was just not cool, you know?
Alexa and Brennan are us. Pause. Sorry.
But I will.
23:53, and the time says 38:47 at the end. Please, what were you going to say, my love?
No, that's good.
Don't say problematic things. I think this, I don't know. I do just want to say, like, I hear what Nancy's saying. And also, this is not necessarily an indication that all 25-year-olds are immature. I think this is like more of an emotional maturity thing. Oh my gosh, little smokies. Our community can be little smokies.
Do they want to be Little Smokies?
Summer just said, yes, please. Can we be called Little Smokies?
Are we?
Show of hands in the chat. Who wants to be a Little Smoky?
I would love to be a Little Smoky.
I want to be a Little Smoky.
I love being a little wiener. Like the little sausages.
Little roaches.
If Nick was able to...
I'm putting up a poll. Do we want to be Little Roaches or do we want to be
I don't want to be a Little Roche. I don't want to be associated with Nick.
Okay, all right, Little Smokies. Look at all of the hands. Look at all these Little Smokies in the chat. I love my Little Smokies. This is so cursed. What is this conversation? What is my life?
Sausage.
What is my life? Oh my God. A little roachette. What is the
stream per minute today?
Okay.
Little Roaches, unless we name it after Geralt's horse. Roach.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Christine said no, neither of those.
Little Smokies.
Oh my gosh. What is a roach?
Ferrero Rochers. We do love Ferrero Rochers. Are delicious.
I do love Ferrero Rochers. I'm not even gonna lie. Little roaches. Yeah, okay, so I do just want to talk about this though, because the like you're 25 and so therefore you're immature thing, like this has reappeared on Love is Blind again and again.
I feel like they purposely find someone who's like, oh, I'm so much more
mentally
aware than a 25-year-old, and they're like, no, you're actually just a 25-year-old still.
No shame. Well, and the thing too is that like the like 25-year-old thing is like such a misnomer. Like some people who are 25 are going to be very emotionally mature. Some people who are 25 are not going to be emotionally mature. Like neither of those speaks definitively about a person. Thank you, Jessica, for the super chat. Look, Little Smokies. Thank you for the hot dog, Jessica. Live streams would be sausage parties. I'm here for that. I'm into that.
Are we?
Yeah, I think that's funny. Yeah, I guess I just want to discourage people from making snap judgments about folks based on their age, because we don't know whether or not they're emotionally mature or not until we interact with them. And I think Bartise has behaved in some ways that may indicate that there is some emotional maturity that's yet to be had, but that's not like definitively because of his age, you know? What?
No, I just reading the chat. Keep
okay.
The thing.
All right, we are at 23:46. The timer at the end says 38:47, and we are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
I agree. Sorry about that, brother.
Just don't do it again, though.
I've learned my lesson freaking clear as day, man, so.
All right, well, one couple that had me on the edge of my seat all season and definitely left me guessing all the way up to the altar.
Baby Smokey Bear.
Matt and Colleen. Guys, congratulations. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're really good.
Say we're good.
I think the reason that, I mean, it is so up and down. I mean, you saw it, you know, it is way up and down, but it's because we both take it incredibly seriously. So that's why a lot of the emotions would go up and down. You know, you saw me kind of
watering down how
getting upset every now and then, you know, but it's all, I mean, it's all real. It's all legitimate emotion that's just
He's like, look, babe,
coming from the pressurized situation, you know.
Nah, he did.
We
I know
were
he didn't.
grateful that we had some sort of conflict to overcome because we weren't great at communicating a conflict, but it made us realize that's something that we had to work on, and we continued to work on that, and we still continue to work on that.
So how's it been since?
Has it been a roller coaster, or have you guys kind of settled into married life?
I mean, we definitely dealt with a few just little day-to-day arguments and stuff like that.
Well, I
feel like I can't trust his characterization of that now.
Share a home with somebody and all the issues that come along with that. I mean, it's you know, it doesn't throw your love into question, but there are life adjustments that have to happen. You know, have to happen. Have you guys experienced that?
Nick is driving me banana pancakes. I want to be super clear. Conflict is normal. Conflict is a necessary and normal and healthy part of being in a relationship.
Found right before we got on stream today.
And yeah, we did. And having conflict that causes someone to feel scared, having conflict that causes someone to feel emotionally or physically intimidated, having conflict that regularly involves one partner threatening to leave or threatening to divorce the other partner is not healthy or like normal, or also something that you have to put up with. I very much disagree with this characterization that like, oh, you guys know, like it's just part of life. It's part of marriage. Like, no, it is not. And this is a potentially very dangerous thing for us to be normalizing. I don't want to speak about Matt specifically because we don't know the guy, you know? We got a very edited view into his life. Oh, yeah. Do we want to turn slow mode on? Are we overwhelmed? Give me 1 sec. Let me finish my train of thought before I forget. We got a very edited view into Matt's behavior in his life and all those things. So I don't want to speak specifically about him. However, normalizing this pattern of behavior can very much lead to people thinking that a partner is speaking to them in a way that is aggressive or violent or like intentionally hurtful. That can roll downhill into potentially an abusive relationship very quickly. All right, let me turn slow mode on. Hold, please. Stream settings. No, not the delay. Not 360 view. Baby, can you help me?
I thought it was right there.
I know, I thought it was too. Here. Thank you. Aaron's going to do it. No, that's analytics.
For real, I don't know.
Oh, here, let me see. I wonder if it's actually on the little chat doodad because I popped it out. Manage moderators, participants, live chat. Yeah, no, it is on live chat. Hannah, can you help me? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, Ollie, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. Little thank you. Is that a fox or is that a bear? It's very cute, whatever it is. Let me see here. There was a way that you can just edit it.
I know.
Here, let me see.
I wonder if it's off to the side because...
Yeah, I wonder if it's in here. Live chat, slow mode. I'm turning on slow mode.
So long. Change that.
Do you want me to change it?
Yeah. You don't want to kill the chat.
Okay.
10 seconds.
I think 10 is... We'll do 15 seconds. Okay. There we go. Oh, I almost pressed end stream. Whoops. Okay, we turned slow mode on, so that should help. Yeah, so you can send a message every 15 seconds. Yeah, is that better? Ooh, look at there. Chat is so much calmer. I love that. Okay, great. Yes, I think 15 seconds is great. I'm very happy with that. Oh my gosh, Helen, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so excited to see you made it to the live a little bit earlier today, too. I know that you've popped in later the last couple of days. Thank you for being here. All right. We are at 25:05, and the timer at the end says 37:28. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So we actually do not live together yet. I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. I mean,
but it's really just doing it on our
own.
own.
Shit! Did I miss a $15 super
You both
chat?
feel the same way?
Pause. Sorry. Oh yeah, no, from Allie. Yeah, I saw it. Thank you, Allie. Also, thank you, Hannah. I appreciate you. All right, we're at 25:28, 37:16, and we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. We're very much on the same page.
Yeah.
Was this like you both went, I don't want to grade, we don't have to give up our places, or was one of you kind of leading the brigade?
Well, logistics-wise and money-wise, we weren't there. As soon as we were
Super valid.
As soon as the wedding, the next day, we weren't money-wise ready to give up on our leases. Like,
yes,
we weren't
that's expensive.
there yet.
I guess I'm trying to understand that because normally when you combine one rent, that seems...
Oh, well...
So one of us would have had to cancel
Says
one
the
of our
celebrity.
leases if we wanted to move in with the other one.
Yeah, and I was with roommates, so I would have screwed over some people. So it very complicated kind of situation, but you know, we got married in an unorthodox way, so we're doing marriage in an unorthodox way.
Well, do you rotate like...
Okay, first of all, yes, Vanessa's privilege is showing. Someone who's richer than sense saying, I don't understand, isn't it cheaper to just move? No, because we live in a capitalist,
people like you buy all the fucking houses.
Oppressive dystopian nightmare where breaking a lease costs thousands and thousands of fucking dollars.
Nancy's renting a property for
and
$7,000
60% of the population in the United States doesn't have $500 in savings, so no, we can't fucking break our lease at the drop of a hat. But second of all, I have talked about this before, and I'm gonna fucking say it again. I very much want to encourage people to write your own rules in your relationship. being married does not equal cohabitation. Being in a relationship doesn't equal cohabitation, and being in a relationship doesn't equal progression to marriage or progression to children. It doesn't equal monogamy. It doesn't equal a lot of things that we as a society have said that it has to. So while I think the behaviors that Matt has demonstrated on this show are not always a great example, I don't disagree with their choice here, because cohabitating can be really healthy and wonderful for some people, and sometimes it's not. And so if it's not for you, that's perfectly fine. I think we should very much normalize people being allowed to live independently and for them to love their partner just as much. Or honestly, even like sleeping or living in separate bedrooms within the same house or like residence, that's also fine. We should really normalize these things because it's really, first of all, not a big deal. But second of all, not like this judgment or like statement about like your relationship and meaning you don't love each other. Like that's not true.
Also, can you, or I don't know.
What?
Nothing, go on.
What?
Her body language doesn't seem, I mean like.
Yeah, I don't know. Colleen's body language doesn't seem uncomfortable to me. They seem potentially uncomfortable with being filmed, maybe, I don't know, but I guess I just struggle with like the speculation about the body language thing because first of all, it's not my specific training. I've been trained to like pick up on like small, subtle verbal or nonverbal cues as it relates to like therapy. But I'm by no means an expert in reading the body language between two people. But also, again, I just want to highlight that like the show is heavily edited, highly curated, and we don't know what's going on, you know? She could look uncomfortable for like 73,000 different reasons. Like that dress is covered in sequins, so maybe she's uncomfortable because the dress is uncomfortable, or because that couch is made of cardboard, or because she doesn't like talking to Nick and Vanessa, or because she's well aware that her behavior and the thing that happened between her and Cole is going to be put on camera and she's going to have to talk about it again. Or maybe it is because of Matt, or maybe it's because she is like uncomfortable with being filmed, or maybe she has social anxiety. Like there's, again, 73,000 different reasons that she could be uncomfortable. Did a phenomenal video on body language analysis and how deeply unreliable it is. Would recommend. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that channel before, so I'll have to look it up. Having at least a spare bed for me when your partner is snoring is really helpful. Yeah, Finley, exactly. People can make the choice to sleep in separate rooms or in separate beds or like separate bedrooms altogether for a number of reasons, but like logistical reasons and needing to get good sleep is very much one of them. I think it's because we've watched a whole season of Colleen and her personality, and this is just a stark difference. That's fair. Folks are allowed to have their own thoughts and opinions about it. I just am not going to comment on it because I don't know. And I try to lean into like evidence-based practice here, which you guys know. I yam on about it all the time. All right, we are at 26:04. The timer at the end says 36:32, and we are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Are we 1 week at her place, 1 week at your
and
place?
and that's the thing. We don't have a central address right now, but we stay together 7 days out of the week.
Yeah.
You know, so we
That's
either
Monday, laundry day.
Yeah.
We have a plan. In a couple months, we made sure our leases line up the same amount of time, and we are going to move in together.
I love that.
I can't wait to move in with him.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
absolutely.
And I'm going to spend the rest of my life with him. So I'm content. We are content. We're on the same page with how we're doing things.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, it's always better the second time,
Yeah.
right?
Cheers, bud.
Being the only other married couple,
weird.
you know, up here, what do you guys think of their decision to not move in together?
It's no one's
It was hard listening to
business.
everyone else's struggle because we didn't have any, which was weird. And it was when we did move in together, like, you know, it was like, it was
Spill the tea. Was it about shoes? Was it about the dog? Was it about, what was it
was, I think it was dishes, was our
Very
yeah,
common.
Damn
dishes.
dishes.
Was yeah, I think it was dishes not being done. So
Wait,
She
so
didn't do
who-
her dishes.
She didn't do or you didn't do?
No one knows.
She knows.
Oh yeah, we all know. We all know.
that's weird.
Yeah, Christina
I don't
noticing
know. It was, and I got a piece of advice because we were having like little thing, and someone said, "Don't let roommate issues be marriage issues." And I think it was the greatest piece of advice because I think that's what was happening, and y'all went through stuff, and I think taking that like afterwards and saying like, let's, you know, do things at our own pace, and then we're over here just, you know, the whole time like blah da da, like I don't know, and then
All
we
right,
just got
pause. We are at 27:50. The timer at the end says 34:54. I don't know how I feel about that. The like, don't let roommate issues be marriage issues. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't like it either. That's dumb, because then that's just like, it's like the thing where like, because if you feel upset about something, you're allowed to feel upset about it. Like, if the dishes bothers you, or like something, the way you're doing something doesn't vibe with you, then like you're allowed to say something.
Well, yeah, and I think
you're allowed
like,
to express your feelings.
Yeah, I think first of all that hits, because I was going to say something similar, that like that a thing that I say all of the time, like in my own personal relationships, but also like to clients as a clinician, is that it doesn't really matter if you're like allowed to feel how you feel, or like if you think your feelings are valid or not, because the reality is that you do. Like, whether or not your feelings are rational is irrelevant, in my opinion, because you do feel that way, you know? And so even if you want to not feel that way, you do still, and it's worth discussing and making space for and allowing yourself to feel how you feel. It's not to say that you're allowed to behave however you want to behave, or to dictate or force people to fall in line based on those emotions, but you do feel that way. And so sometimes it's worth discussing that, especially if we're able to do it in a way that's kind and compassionate.
Also, too, sometimes practicing arguing the small stuff that has low stakes helps you work through problems when the
like
stakes
bigger
are
stuff.
higher.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that either.
Because arguing is just practice. Like, how you communicate with someone is ultimately practice, like everything else.
Yeah. Isn't it natural to have some issues around the house? Yes, HJ. And I think this is the other thing too.
Yes.
Having disputes or conflict about household responsibilities is like one of the number one issues that folks have. And I would argue too that this type of issue is rarely only about the dishes. Typically, when something like this happens, particularly if it happens repeatedly, the hurt and the frustration is more so that like, I have communicated a need to you and you're not meeting that need, or that I have communicated a request to you and you're not seeing me. You know, I don't feel supported. I don't feel cared for. I don't feel loved. I don't feel valued, because you're not helping me with household stuff, right? This is a really, really common issue, especially in cis hetero relationships, because of the way that folks are socializing, because of the way that the patriarchy affects gender roles and things like that. There's a really interesting article called She Divorced Me, or She Left Me Because I Didn't Do the Dishes or Didn't Load the Dishwasher or something, that kind of encapsulates this idea, because along with that too, when this issue goes unchecked for a really, really long time, particularly this happens for like cis hetero female partners, that when their cis hetero male partner doesn't, take up that expectation of like helping with household chores or whatever for long enough, then it starts to create a distrust, that like, I communicated this to you repeatedly and you said you were going to do it and you didn't do it. And so if I can't trust you to make good on loading the dishes or helping me with the laundry, how am I supposed to trust you or to feel safe with you to discuss deep emotional things, or like my trauma or something that deeply affected me, right? And so discussing like roommate issues in a vacuum is kind of unhelpful, in my opinion, because it all adds up to this greater picture of a partnership, right? In my opinion, roommate issues are marriage issues if you're married and cohabitating. And so like, those are useful things to discuss and like to be honest about too. HJ, I'm a messy woman and the men I date are always cleaner than me. Same. Aaron and I have had this conversation many times, but in the reverse, because I am a messy bitch. Need to let's see. It is the disrespect of your request.
I open up one of your videos and it's a fucking ad for BetterHelp.
Well, I mean, thanks BetterHelp for the money.
Thanks for the money.
Why do Nick and Vanessa always act like they're casual viewers of the show? Like, y'all literally created
No, for real. They really do be acting like,
literally.
I can't tell if it's like from their perspective, they're supposed to be playing the audience, like for us,
Yeah.
asking the questions they think
I know.
we want. Or like, but they're really like, we just kind of showed up and figuring it out as we go too.
I know. Do we know for sure that they created the show? I don't know if Netflix just like hired them to stand there and look pretty and be the host of the show, or if they have like a stake in the show. I'm not really sure. But it does feel very disingenuous. All right, we are at 27:39. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Kind of happens. So I mean, problems happen in marriage, at any point, and so
all we care about is if y'all are happy.
Thank
Don't
you.
be happy.
And whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's like the stage lights or whatever, but my eyes are just. Are you guys? My eyes are so dry.
We should probably.
Oh my God. Is this okay?
You need to.
Oh, I get it. It's a callback. It's a callback.
I know.
I forgot. Was he coming?
Shout out Andrew. He did not get on the plane. Smart.
Oh my God, he just got it all over his shirt.
It's too much.
I think it's okay.
Too much.
No, if you really need to, by all means.
Guys, obviously, every once in a while, there's a moment that comes along that has the potential to like literally break the internet. And Andrew and the eye drops were clearly one of those moments this season.
Andrew.
This is for you, buddy.
We did invite Andrew. He chose not to come.
Also, I would too.
What did
I'd
the
like
rest
no
of you guys
thanks
think
to
for
come
I
off
know.
my one stick.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Like, thanks for not coming.
That's
It was just a phony proposal.
That was not a false depiction.
You know what's crazy? We always say this.
Very carefully said. It's a good way to
Oh,
We've always said this
boy.
because this is the beauty. Here's the thing: we have to continue to have people like you who are truly up for the experiment, because you're gonna get a couple of the like riffraff who's like, I'm gonna be on TV and it's gonna be a thing, and so the process weeds you out.
That's like
I
the
mean,
whole
it's
show,
definitely not for the
Vanessa.
faint of heart.
Pretty sure there's quite a few Google searches for transcendental sex. I've never
Oy vey.
heard of transcendental sex. I mean,
that's
But
wild.
the way he delivered it.
I mean, the guy had confidence.
This does feel kind of strange that we're just like shitting on Andrew when he's not even here. Like, why does it matter to you guys so much?
Talking about his sex
Also,
life.
we like
Alexa,
Southern
you're
Yes.
very vocal about what you felt like you needed. In the,
We don't want to talk about Matt threatening to leave, but for sure, let's make fun of Andrew for like 75 minutes. Like, I don't agree with the way he behaved either, but
And
damn.
then you know what? It gets, you get what you want.
I mean, obviously, there's nothing wrong at all with being upfront about what you need, about what you want. That's part of life. That's part of a relationship.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
What's that?
I said closed mouths don't get fed.
And that's on period.
Closed mouths don't get fed. True words.
But SK and Raven, you guys were definitely more don't kiss and tell, which we respect and love, but this is also Love is Blind and the peeps want to know. So when did y'all first discover each other physically?
Ew. Why are
Is
we
that how I
asking
say
that
it?
question?
After our
That's
wedding.
not funny. That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like, and I even said it on camera, like, of course, like,
Yeah.
you gotta, like, taste test.
So wait,
Because closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. I'll use that.
Hi.
All I'm just gonna say is like,
Isasaurus,
Pilates
thank you for
might be good
coming.
you.
Hey! Pilates might be good. Okay, let's move on. Bartise.
I just am, pause. We're at 30:38. No, 30:42. I just am so frustrated by the, like, specifically, when was the first time you guys fucked? Like, why are you asking that question? It doesn't matter. Especially for people who are so fucking fixated on, like, get married, fall in love. This is about love. This is about real connection. Except that at the reunion, we're going to rake everybody over the coals to talk about sex and physical attraction. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's just, like, so needlessly invasive and personal. And it just, no, yeah, Tori, like, the people want to know, like, do they? Because it seems like you want to know, Vanessa, which is fine. But, like, just text her, Like, if you guys are really friends, then why don't you just ask? But, like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Ooh, the asking about kids thing.
Oh, are they asking about kids?
No. When you're holidays, read Celine.
Oh, it's awkward holiday dinner when other relatives are asking when you're going to get married and have kids. Yes, Celine, exactly.
Like, how often are we fucking to have kids?
No, literally, yeah. Aaron and I say that all the time. Like, when people ask that question, it's so bizarre and confusing because basically you're asking, like, when was the last time you had reproductive fluid inside of your body? And, like, ugh. Like, why are you asking that question? It's so weird. Very much want to discourage people from asking invasive questions, especially if you don't have, like, the rapport. There's a lot to unpack there, but let's throw away the suitcase. Yeah, Olivia, I don't disagree with that. Okay, 30 minutes, 50 seconds, and the timer at the end says 31:52. We are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Nancy, now the two of you appeared to be destined to say yes on your wedding day. However, as we found out, it was not meant to.
Yes, Sarah,
Bartise,
that too. It's
have you ever had a
assuming you
chance to
want
look back
children,
on
which
that
is not
day and
true for
reflect
everyone.
on
If you would have said
what
yes.
life would have been like had you said yes?
Of course, I think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, watching it back, I was like rooting for us. She just looked so happy, and her giggling and her smile. And so, yeah, I found myself like, damn, okay. I was watching it, knowing what I say, And I was still like, say I do, which is crazy to think, but, and then it puts you in the headspace of going through all those emotions again and all those feelings and then that love that we had. So watching it back was really tough for me.
Was it for you, Nancy? How does it feel hearing him say that he wishes he was rooting for you?
What? Oh, pause. This drives me fucking nuts. All right, we're at 31:32. The timer at the end says 31:08. This shit drives me fucking banana pancakes. I cannot deal with Nick and Vanessa fake doing therapy on TV. How does it feel for you to hear him say that? Like, why are you asking that question? Why are we asking that question? Why are you positioning yourself in this, like the middle of these two people who are so obviously emotionally distressed right now? Please stop doing that because it's unsafe. The reason that therapy exists in the world that it does with all of the rules and regulations and licensures and like all the things that it does is because you can very much fucking hurt people if you do it wrong, if you're not trained on how to do it properly. And even if you are trained on how to do it properly, if you're not being responsible, like it's just so frustrating to me that not only are they positioning themselves in this way to be like conflict resolvers, but also that we're doing it on fucking TV. Like, A, they don't have the skill. B, this is not the appropriate venue for that. Like the reason that therapy doesn't happen with an audience is because it's really, really difficult to be authentic and honest about how we're feeling when we know that we're being perceived. Being ace is the best. I'm so happy I'm ace. Yes, actually I saw that Gay Frogwater and someone Aspen, I think earlier, was talking about that too, which I think is a really important point too. The show is like very fixated on the concept of sex as if people, Matcha, that's who it was. As if people don't have perfectly happy, healthy, functioning relationships without the expectation or interest in sexual intimacy. Andrew, I'm glad you said this because I've been struggling my whole life and it's gotten horrible in adulthood. What happened? I don't know where it went. No, exactly. What do you expect her to say? I feel wonderful watching it all back. Yeah, like what is she going to say? Do you mean it's irresponsible to ask deeply personal questions on national TV? This is brand new information. I know, Leslie, shocking. Using people's emotional trauma for entertainment. Who would have guessed that that would be such a hurtful thing to do? I even tell my husband sometimes that I don't want to be perceived. Can't imagine on national TV. Yes, Leah, this is a very common experience. And for what it's worth, one that's gotten more common post-COVID lockdown. A lot of people are experiencing like increased or heightened or different social anxiety after being socially isolated for such a long time. Because it does something to you, you know? And so especially like having this all aired out on television, I can only imagine feels awful. All right, we are at 31:21. And the timer at the end says 31:08. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Aw, Nancy, I love you.
Can I get a tissue?
I love you.
Like, this is so mean.
Does anyone have a tissue?
Why are we doing this to her? Oh.
I said it so many times. I really did love you so much.
I know you did.
And
why did he say it like that?
I think it was the promise that you made to me that you would not blindside me, that we would have honest conversations.
Ooh.
And literally you did the complete opposite.
Nancy, you say you felt blindsided in that moment.
Like, I think love is blindsided for me. Like, yeah.
Well, I think your family felt a little blindsided.
Oh God, please don't drag this up, Nick.
I think
you actually brought your whole family here.
I think that day, like when he said no and I had to shut off like whatever switch I could find to just power mode off, my family couldn't. So they were fighting the fight that I couldn't.
So have you guys, since Love is Blind, tried to go on dates?
So I think this is
the next day after
the
wedding.
Next day.
You had a girl.
That is not the next day.
Yeah,
you
had
were on
someone.
a boat the next day.
Period. Period. I was waiting for that. Okay, thank you.
Wait. Sorry, I have 3 of them over here saying
sorry.
day after the wedding.
So he had a tall blonde by his side. I just saw some things on social media and I was like, okay, did we not?
Pictures?
It was someone posting a video of the scene and then you caught Bartise and this tall blonde next to him. And then that same tall blonde over the weekend, I don't know if it was a Saturday and Sunday situation, you can clarify, but on his lap, all over him. To me, again, it goes back to like, the fuck, you know?
Yes, there was a blonde girl with me. That night, nothing happened. Yes, something eventually happened on July 4th on a boat party.
Oh
okay?
my
And there's a lot of drinking and there's a lot of coping that I'm doing. And if I don't cope, I don't think my sex life is anybody's business here, especially after how we decided to cut ties. Okay, so the timing of it, I can see being wrong, and I'm sorry for that. But like, I don't feel comfortable talking about my sex life with everybody here.
So super valid. Again, I disagree with them doing this to Raven and SK, and I'm going to disagree with them doing it with Bartise too. Dissecting the details of someone's sex life does feel invasive. However, this is one of those moments that I think is important to honor, that like when we behave publicly, people are gonna see that, you know? And also,
I have the, like, what does this look like from the outside?
Nancy has the right to feel how she feels. I want to proceed with caution here, because this is like a very parasocial situation where like, I don't know Bartise, you don't know Bartise, none of you know Bartise, and so it's not for us to say. However, I think Nancy is very much allowed to feel how she feels about the fact that A, he apparently promised her that he wouldn't blindside her, and then he did, and B, relatively soon after all of this went down, that there was what appeared to be like some kind of rebound or like breach in trust, or, you know, that type of situation. And that's hurtful. You know, it feels bad. Who else thinks all these people deserve better treatment than this? Yes, they all do. Like, even the ones that I dislike don't deserve to have their personal lives raked over the coals in front of an audience. I hated that too. She appeared to be asking for affection and some forehead kisses, and he went, sorry, I don't want to bone all the time. Yes, Christine, that's very much what happened. The like, you're so needy thing was super frustrating. I dislike Bartise, but I hate this. They broke up, dating soon, even if it is hurtful, isn't ethically wrong. Yeah, Caroline, exactly. I think this is a hurtful thing. And like, but also too, like, this is a conversation that ideally like Nancy and Bartise, or like Nancy and Nancy's friends are having with Bartise privately, you know? Dragging all of this into the mud may feel kind of cathartic for us as an audience, but I would like to highlight that this is just further like emotionally wounding everyone involved, Nancy primarily, because it doesn't feel good to realize that the person who told you that they love you and they wouldn't blindside you is out gallivanting with someone that they apparently think is hotter than you. But I can imagine it hurts probably a whole lot fucking more to have a national audience bear witness to that behavior too, you know? So like, this whole thing is just super hurtful. Okay, we are at 34:01. The timer at the end says 28:35, and we are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Who brought up sex? We just said
you guys are like leading into it.
No, we're not.
So you have a problem with me standing at a club next to a girl?
No, about the girl, like, you're gonna be with the girl 3 days after. I mean, like, if you really love someone, like, I really just can't imagine.
It's just hurtful.
I just can't imagine. I just really can't, and I can't like judge you, I guess, for how you cope with something, but it's just fucked up.
I mean, clearly, it'd be great if we all ended up on one of these couches, right? But we know that's not everyone's journey. There's pain that comes with it. There's growth, hopefully, that comes with it for everybody. I think what they're referring to is the timing of it, you know, just having so quickly on the heels of this incredibly emotional moment.
Yeah.
At the altar with Nancy.
Here we go, switching gears. Hey, Zane.
Oh, shit.
Okay, Cole has taken a lot of heat, but no one's perfect, and you certainly didn't hold back from pointing out some of Cole's imperfections. I think we actually have a little video montage.
Oh God, do we have to relive this?
Take a look, guys.
Is this dirty? Do you know where you can put it? Like a laundry basket.
Really?
Babe, pick up your things.
Chill.
If you want to, like, maybe pick up your towel sometime and maybe not, like, throw it across the coffee table.
Are you being passive aggressive? Okay, just checking.
Can I have a STEMs class?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, fun fact, you put white wine in a stemmed glass because a hand around this warms it up. You started the chicken early. Aren't the potato fries gonna take ages?
Yeah, we'll eat them after everything. That's how I always do it.
What are you doing to this chicken?
How do you flip 3 at the same time?
Oh,
I did it! So,
very white, not seasoned piece of chicken. Please season it.
let me help you out.
We don't need any more on this side.
Oh gosh. Okay.
What is wrong with you?
Pause. I guess we're needing a trigger warning for disordered eating coming up soon. So if that's a sensitive issue for you, please feel free. Take care of yourself. You can mute or click off the stream or what have you. But I guess that is coming up.
Well, not the white seasoned chicken. We went there. We went with the white piece of chicken. We can giggle now.
It wasn't that bad, I'll be honest. We had a lot of play, and I look really goofy and she looks really naggy, but it was much more in the middle than I experienced, to be honest.
Aww.
So
Thank you.
Yeah. Like the clothes stuff was funny to me because I'm super messy. I mean, that's obvious. So I mean, I'm very messy.
Oh my God! Did they really have to do the flies in your toilet?
Okay.
I saw that.
I was gonna clean my whole house.
What is
before
wrong
we
with you?
flew, and I woke up and my power was out in my whole apartment. It was dark and it was 4 a.m. I had to go catch a flight. I couldn't clean anything, and so I was like, I just left it. So when we went there, I was like, bro, I didn't.
Yeah, Angie, I'm glad he's being fair too.
I had like flashbacks at the fraternity house, man. I was
There
like,
was gnats in my toilet.
Oh no, they zoomed in on
they zoomed in
on Netflix.
Yeah, it's really bad. So, I mean, deservingly now, the suitcase part, we were moving
Yeah,
into our
Tori, I'm gonna
apartment.
talk about that in a sec.
I opened my suitcase, and you were like, really, Cole? And I was like, I'm unpacking. That was the only one that I was like, that was wild. And I'm not organized. I got a lot to work on.
We're pausing here. We are at 37:14. I do want to address this actually, like the wine glass thing in particular, to me didn't come off as like condescending. And we talked about this before. We're going to talk about it again, probably. I do very much want to make space for people to communicate with their partners in a way that feels authentic to you. The way that Zay communicated with Cole might not work for Cole or other people, but it might very well be perfectly fine for another partner. Tori mentioned earlier, like as an autistic person, the comment about the wine glass didn't seem mean. It's just like me wanting to share a fun fact, like very much relate to that. As a person who has a lot of like weird, unnecessary knowledge about niche things, like that's something that I would say too. But I think it's important to honor that there isn't like one perfect way to communicate that's like healthy and kind and respectful. It's very much dependent on context. And when you put a montage of her telling him to pick up his clothes, of course it looks bad, but who knows, it might have been once every few days. Yeah, exactly, Finley. And also too, like Cole was saying, there was like play and banter that they had, and so he didn't really perceive it in the way that it was portrayed on TV, which again just highlights the fact that the editing serves the purpose of manipulating us for pushing a narrative to make the content easily digestible and like follow a particular format, right? I literally changed my voice to mask because if I spoke in my actual voice, people would just think I'm being rude. I feel like this is just her voice. Yeah, Sarah, that's also potentially part of the thing too, is that might just be her normal voice. And I know people have a lot of really strong feelings about Cole and Zanab. Everyone is allowed to feel how they feel. Everyone is allowed to think what they think. But that does not give us the right as the audience in a parasocial environment to force Zay to experience consequences. She's a human being who's also an adult who has private relationships. And if that communication style doesn't work for her or doesn't work for the people that she's in relationship with, that will become clear. And those will be her consequences to own, but it's not ours to enforce. We are people just watching a TV show of like a very heavily edited and curated cut of a small section of someone's life. So I really want to encourage people to be mindful of this.
Now my question is going to be, are they going to go over any of the stuff he did to her now?
Probably not, if I had to guess. All right, 37:14. The timer at the end says 25:28. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Aww. Then you're giggling, so I'm glad that you have a sense of humor about it.
I have to be able to laugh at that because that's just awful.
Is there any self-reflection on seeing some things that you said throughout the entire season of how you guys interacted?
Absolutely. I definitely could have shown more grace. We were
That's
in a
valid.
super weird.
time warp and moving and, you know, opening his suitcase and the first sock that goes on the floor, I definitely didn't have to like jump on him about that. Yeah, I've just never shared my space. I've never been serious enough with anyone to have them over for more like pack an overnight bag and then like get out, you know? Yeah. Because I like my things in their place.
That's fair.
It was an adjustment.
I think so many things happened off camera. He's like likable when you're watching it, and I just knowing what I know, it's I don't know. It's hard because I think Zay is such an incredible woman.
Cole, do you know what Alexa's talking about when she says that we don't know?
I'll just say it. It was the tangerine thing.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling you,
are you seriously gonna eat all those tangerines?
He got a girl's number at the bachelor party or something, and they even talked
boy.
about that. There was plenty of things.
What?
There was the body shaming that we saw
I got
on
a girl's
TV.
number at the bachelor party?
Cole, you told me that the night before our wedding.
Wait,
We
no,
got
I
together.
didn't.
Yes, you did.
We
Yes,
didn't
you
even
did.
see girls. We were at a rodeo. We chased cows while y'all were getting dick slung in your face, and then we literally went and drank the night away in a saloon that was rented out just for guys.
Yeah. Thanks, baby.
I saw you before the wedding, and you told me. You said, "I do have something to tell you. I tried to kiss a girl at the bachelorette party."
Oh my gosh, we didn't
And I
see
was
a
like,
single
"Cole,
girl.
What did she say?" And you were like, "No, you said I'm engaged to get married, and I just want to kiss one more girl." And she was like, "No, I don't." I think the phrasing was, I don't do cheating. And I said,
Literally
"Cole,
never happened.
Cole, it's great. I'm a liar. I'm bipolar. Like, your words to me do not do anything for or to me anymore. They don't. They did back then. They did."
Say, I'm not the one trying to hurt you right now. You're making up a story. There wasn't even girls at the saloon
No,
we
you
were
guys all hung out after the cameras were done. Y'all went out somewhere, and I don't know the details,
didn't.
but y'all did do something.
What? Yeah. What is
After
happening?
The
Let me
cameras were
see.
off.
Yeah.
Y'all did something.
Where did we
don't
go,
know.
Brennan?
I don't know, man. I was blasted, bro. I had like 20 shots and then like 20 beers. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and we didn't go anywhere because of that. We got Ubered home, dude.
Y'all know y'all went
I know
somewhere.
that.
Y'all
I mean,
always go
after
somewhere.
during the bachelor party, I mean, there were no girls anywhere on it, and then I jumped in an Uber after the bar. So I don't. That's news to me. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I'm just saying
And I'm not saying
I have
anyone
no
else here
idea.
told me, so that's like not third-party information. That is direct from Cole's mouth, telling me that he tried to kiss a girl and got her number at his bachelor party.
Cole, do you
Pause. Okay, we are at 40:17. Timer at the end says 22:27. Wow. I think this is probably the I'm sure like the Cutie thing is coming up. So trigger warning for that. This is a lie she made up to make Cole look worse. Like, Cheryl, we don't know that. I appreciate that people are going to feel how they feel and think what they think. But again, I want to encourage everyone in this chat to be mindful that we don't know. There is no way for us to know. We don't know if Zay is telling the truth. We don't know if Cole is telling the truth. And so us insisting someone made this up, or Cole is gaslighting her on TV, or Zay is just trying to character assassinate Cole, like, we don't fucking know. There is no way for us to know. Yes, it's unknowable, Katie. Exactly. This is another thing that we have talked about on streams before, that we as like regular everyday human people, which this is morally neutral to be clear, but we have the tendency to project our own stuff, like our past relationship hurts, our thoughts, our feelings, our perspectives onto the media that we are consuming. And so like if I, for example, had a partner who, I had trust issues with, and then I watched the season of the show, it might feel really easy for me to jump on this bandwagon of like, Cole's a liar, Cole's making stuff up. And that's informed by my prior experience. This is not a bad thing. This is not immoral, but it is important for us to be mindful of, because again, this situation is inherently unknowable. There were no cameras there. We don't know for certain. And the only evidence that we have is one person saying something that directly conflicts the statement of another person. Again, I really want to caution folks against character assassinating random strangers on TV that we don't know. That's unfair. It's also unhelpful. And ultimately, again, I think it's important to honor that it is like ultimately irrelevant to our lives as regular people. And this is another thing that we tend to do with media. We dehumanize people on TV and in these like media situations because they seem like objects to us because the way that TV is edited and things like that. But we very quickly forget that it's important to humanize people in these situations. And so again, people are going to feel how they feel. You are very much allowed to feel however you feel, to think whatever you think. But it does not make it a like moral or okay thing to do to say definitively, Zay is a terrible person. Cole is a terrible person. This person sucks. That person sucks. None of these people, like, they are all very flawed, very normal human people who have all behaved in ways that are hurtful to each other in some form or fashion. And that's like their human right. You know what I mean? Like, we do stuff sometimes that's like shitty and irresponsible because we're people. One of them is lying, though. We know that. Yeah, that's fair. We just don't know which one. And so I really want to discourage people from speculating about it, and especially from speaking like definitively about it in the chat right now. I really don't want to be like aggressive or mean, but I don't have a lot of patience for the like, Zay's a terrible person, Cole's an awful person. Like, we don't know that. We don't know any of those fucking things. The only things that we know are that these people disagree about this on this TV reunion that ultimately, thankfully, doesn't negatively affect our lives. Like, I think we need to, like, let go of our need to put people in these boxes. Yes, second attempt, exactly. I like how the chat's on slow mode and it's still flying. I don't think anyone is outright lying from what I watched. Honestly, that's totally fair. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to get lost in the sauce. Let's just keep watching. We're at 40:17. The timer at the end says 22:27, and we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Really not remember this, or is she making this up?
I really don't.
Well, please be honest.
It's not even that I don't remember it, Vanessa. This is literally impossible. I don't know what to say, Zay.
The truth. You can start with that.
Why do you hate me, Nancy? What did I do?
Because Zanab is my girl, and everything that I know happened behind closed doors, like,
that you
it's
don't
not
know
shown
that
on
happened.
there.
Right, and that is your saving grace, Cole, is that they did not use it.
Is
because
what?
so much of that stuff, the pushing food away from me, asking if I'm gonna eat that, trying to get me to order a salad, the daily comments about my face and my body were not used. And that's great because it really did protect you. And you are now denying it and now calling me a liar in front of all these people.
I mean, that's typically what it is when you make up stories, Zay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Great
comeback. I don't...
You first.
All right, pause. Master Adjuster, no way the producers wouldn't use drama. Like, you don't know that. You're not a producer on the show, so you wouldn't know that. Again, I really want to discourage people from doing the thing that, yeah, if it exists, they'd show it. We don't know that, Magda. We have no idea. There are 1,000 different reasons why they would not use footage. I'd also like to remind people that this footage is procured by filming people for like a lot of time, over like weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, we're talking about tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of hours of footage, which is like fucking like a monumental amount of content to sort through. Like, these people, first of all, there's not like one single solitary editor. They have teams of editors who have to go through thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of footage in order to put it together into something that makes some kind of cohesive story that's easy for an audience to follow and easy to digest, and also is interesting enough for people to click on repeatedly week after week. Like, this is, yeah, they edit and even change the orientation of people's bodies in the edit. If they can do that, what else can they do? Again, we know that Netflix does this, where they really are playing games with like the way that footage happened, the sequence of events, the direction that people. We saw this with the reunion of season 2, where Deep D turned to look this way, and in the footage they reverse it to make it look like she looked left to try and create some like storyline about drama between Sal and Mal at the reunion, and it seems like maybe that wasn't true. So like, again, this is just a good example of how like Netflix creates this like her versus him thing, when like potentially it doesn't have to be that. I want to see Mickey Atkins react to the push. Oh, I don't know what the push is. What is that? And follow oh, there it goes. Also, like, a lot of people might feel like Cole is justified in his behavior. Unfortunately, society is steeped in toxic diet culture and fat phobia. That's super true, honestly. We're gonna get into that in a minute, I'm sure. So also content warning, trigger warning for that. Yeah, it's not Netflix specifically, it's just how media is. That's a good point. Netflix in this situation is getting a lot of my ire because they're the ones who make the show, obviously, but this is like a media thing generally. Okay, we are at 41:03. The timer says 21:31 at the end, and we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
The thing that someone said, the Diesel said about creating a character for the show, the same thing they do on Survivor and every reality TV show. Like, you get an arc, essentially.
Yeah. Well, and like, this is something that Survivor has openly spoken about in their casting process, that when they cast new people for new seasons, they are specifically looking for a type of person to create this cast. So there's like the mom character, there's like the sort of the person who like turns on people at the end. There's usually the person who's like fucking ripped to shit and like strong as hell. There's like the nerdy smart people. Like, we know that this is a thing that happens. It's not a secret that reality TV shows edit people. Yeah, they typecast people and then they edit them accordingly to make a consistent character and vision for the whole season. Okay, are we on hour 3? Have we been streaming for 3 hours?
Noon, 2.
Noon
to 1, 1 to 2.
Okay. We're at 41:07. The timer at the end says 21:31, and we are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the receipts aren't there.
Okay, Zay, then why did you stay with me so damn long?
Because you would give me these glimpses, like the sailboat, like our dancing, like the learning
So
curve I saw
they only
us come
showed
around.
like our great moments then, and then everything else I was just treating you like horrible?
No.
Oh boy.
No, because I'm telling you that we would have these moments. There was something every day that I was like, there he is. There's a part of me that's like, man, if I got that Cole, I might have said I do.
When did you know, Zay,
When did I know what?
that you're gonna say no?
I didn't know. Like, still wedding day morning, I still wanted to fight for it. I did. I did. That's why I cried all wedding morning. That's why I cried after. I mean, I was so concerned about you because I still cared so much. I did.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, everyone,
boy.
like, I'm, you know, if I was that horrible to you, it just doesn't make sense. That's why I asked you the bipolar thing. It's because
Okay,
it's like,
pause. Okay. Trigger warning.
I didn't realize Cole also was a clinical therapist who can make diagnoses.
Apparently.
Of people that he's lived with for a week.
Yeah. The other thing about this that I want to address is the all or nothing thing that Cole just did. This is common in conflict with partners, particularly when we're like lost in the sauce, we're deep in the shit, we're feeling very defensive. Doing the, so you're saying that those were the only times that were good and everything else was like a terrible time or whatever. That's not true. This like dichotomy, this like false dichotomy happens a lot. Like I said, when we're in conflict with someone who is like defensive and overwhelmed. And so if you find yourself in this situation, it's very much okay to set that boundary and remove yourself from the conversation, because it at that point seems like the conversation is just going to devolve. And like, again, it's important to be aware of these moments when like a conversation shifts from conflict resolution, where we're trying to meet a resolution with one another, to like, now I'm just interested in being right. Now I'm just interested in having my point of view heard, and that's it. This is very common. And again, like, good thing to be mindful of, because when it happens, very much okay. I would argue, encourage to remove yourself from that conversation and take some time to like emotionally regulate and sort out how you feel, what it is that you want to do and talk through and all of that stuff, like what your end goal is. The show is so coercive that you didn't leave comment is just not strong. I mean, I'm not super sure what you're saying there, but the like, so like, why didn't you leave comment then is also kind of that same energy of like, oh, well, if I was so terrible, why didn't you leave? because like human beings exist in shades of gray and worlds of nuance. And so someone saying, or choosing to not leave is not an indicator that they're lying about the experience being negative. Like, you see what I'm saying? Where like they're sort of getting forced into this like either or thing, and it's rarely an either or. The human experience is like so incredibly nuanced. Aaron's about to get Mickey's degree from where it's hanging and putting it inside of all the balloons. Yeah. I think they both have horrible communication styles and need to go to therapy. I think everybody needs to go to therapy. On the show and off of the show, everyone can very much benefit from therapy. But communication skills are very much a thing that we can learn and grow in going to therapy. The show creates an environment that makes leaving the relationship harder than in the real world. Oh, yes. Very much agree. Second attempt. I think that's also a good point too, that there's like a lot of pressure for people to stay in the relationships. We don't know to what degree that pressure is explicit from the producers. I would be surprised if there's none at all. But even the implied pressure of like being on the show and like wanting to commit to the experiment to make sure that you're like doing, like giving it your best shot or whatever, people have spoken about that in the past. And so I wouldn't be surprised if she also felt like some external pressure to stay, even if she didn't want to. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. We are at 42:14 and the timer at the end says 20:25. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
How confusing is that? That if I was this horrible the whole way through, but on the day of our wedding, you still care about me. But I've already destroyed your self-confidence. I've already done all these things. And like, why were you there? Like, that's what I'm saying, Zay. Like, because I wasn't treating like that. You know, I was doing my best to work things out with you, and I came here for the same reason as you. We fell in love in the pods, and we were trying to get married. I didn't come here to like, I don't understand like what you think I was doing.
I could have dragged you. I could have dragged you for everything.
Yeah.
But I stood up there and I still very much tried to say, I love you. I know you are not. I still don't think you're a bad guy. You treated me badly, but I do not think you're a bad guy. I don't.
Okay. Well.
So you guys didn't talk after the wedding?
We have not, no.
Is this the first time you've seen each other?
Yes.
And spoken?
Yes.
Cole, was there any expectation that was what was going to happen at the altar? Like, what was your guys' understanding going into it?
That's why I was the way I was.
There's
is
never
because
any I'm sorry or accountability.
What, Raven?
That's not, like, that's, like,
I just feel like what you just said. You're like, that's why I didn't reach out. Like, that's just kind of not taking accountability.
Y'all don't believe the words I say. Like, I heard her, I listened. She wanted nothing to do with me. She didn't want me to call her, she didn't want me to pursue her, and I didn't have it in me. I was heartbroken because I really loved her. So it's like, hate me all you want. I know what I did. I know what I did.
No one hates you, Cole.
Dude, Nancy's looking at me. She called me evil. You guys literally think I came into this.
Okay, pause. Oy, oy, oy. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I'm tired and I'm fucking frustrated from watching this fucking show. So, first of all, hold on. I'm going to edit the chat really quick. We're changing the slow mode to be slightly slower. Nope, not that one. You guys are getting downgraded every 30 seconds. Okay. First of all, if you did actually have this negative of an experience or whatever, then you wouldn't have stayed, kind of a thing. Again, like, this is the same like false dichotomy that we've seen pushed before. That is rarely true. I don't know if it's true in this scenario, but it's rarely true. Yes, you guys got a 30-second timeout because I'm tired. On top of that, I have said it like 63 times and I'm going to say it one more time. And if it continues to happen, people are going to start getting muted. I have said specifically and clearly and kindly and respectfully, do not come in my chat saying Zay is this way, Cole is this way, Colleen is this way, Matt is this way. I'm not here for it. We're not using my platform to character assassinate strangers on a TV show. It's hurtful and unnecessary, and we can make critiques of folks' behavior, and we can speak kindly and respectfully and clearly about how I didn't like this behavior or this behavior made me feel this way. But saying specifically and prescriptively about a person, they are definitively this type of person, is not helpful. And if I see it again, you're getting muted. Like, that's the end of that conversation. I appreciate that there's like jokes and things like that. Super fair. But again, I just am very frustrated by folks continually showing up in the chat and saying like, see, this is why this person is this way. Because it's rarely true. And again, I'd like to remind everyone, we don't know these people. We have been given a very, very carefully curated and highly edited, very short view into the way that these people behave in a pressure cooker of an environment that sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare for any human being to be in. And so like, yes, I will be here and critique these behaviors and speak about how we as people can take a learning opportunity from these behaviors to make ourselves better all goddamn day long. I will talk about that all day because again, the goal of the platform here is to like provide people with like skills and tools and like, you know, learning moments. But I am endlessly frustrated with the character assassination. Thank you, Emma. The other thing about this that I think is important to point out with the like Cole and Zanab situation, Aaron and I talked about this last night, and I thank you, Rem, I appreciate you. No, I'm okay. Aaron and I talked about this last night, and I again don't want to speak definitively about Cole, because again, we don't know the guy, but some of the things that he says has reminded me of stuff that has come up in my clinical work, and so I wanted to talk about it for the sake of educating. It's not uncommon for folks to end up, particularly in cishet relationships, to end up in counseling, like marital counseling. Thank you, Laura, I appreciate that. For folks to end up in marital counseling and for the male partner to sort of like repeatedly issue objections or to say like I'm uncomfortable or I don't want to do it or blah blah blah, to like kind of drag their feet, and so when they do finally get involved in couples therapy, that then the female partner is like kind of exhausted and not putting in a lot of effort or can feel very easily overwhelmed or frustrated, and the feedback from the male partner is like, I don't understand, like I'm doing this, like I'm doing all the things that you asked, blah blah blah, like why don't you care, or you know, like I don't understand, particularly when this situation ends in the female partner saying, you know what, I'm over it, I want to get a divorce. The common feedback from the male partner is, what are you talking about? I've done all the things that you wanted. I heard you, I listened to you, and now you're saying you want to get a divorce. Like, this is coming out of nowhere. And that's rarely the case. It's very common for female partners to repeatedly express needs, requests. Hi, Winnie, thanks for coming to the live. To express like the needs, the wants, the requests, and all of those things, and for the male partner to not hear them or to express like doubt or to undermine those things, and then when it finally happens, that the female partner calls it quits on the relationship, for the male partner to say like, this is coming out of nowhere, when actually it hasn't. And so again, I don't want to speak about Cole specifically because I don't know if that's the case here, but I do just want to talk about like this phenomenon generally, because if you're noticing this in your relationship, particularly if you're like the cishet male partner, to be mindful of like when those requests are coming up and notice when they're happening, because it can very much be one of those like make or break moments in relationships if you're willing to hear your partner before we get to the place where like the wheels are coming off the train. But Cole wasn't expressing his needs and being ignored. Yeah, no, I think that happened for sure. I mean, we talked about this in past streams, that Cole expressed wants and needs that weren't well received by Zanab, and she talked about it earlier, that she didn't do a very good job of giving him grace when she thinks that she should have. She mentioned he is tearing down her self-esteem. Yeah, I think Zanab has said that a couple of times, that this experience really did a number on her self-esteem. Imagine how tired we are. Yeah, Melanie, tell me about it. What's my opinion on polyamory? Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this, I guess, like more like in a vague way on the channel, but polyamory is like a perfectly morally neutral and also relatively common way for folks to practice relationships. And if it's something that calls to you, there's like, you know, probably a bunch of resources about how to do that. But generally, I think it just goes along with the general encouragement that I want to give folks to structure your relationships in a way that feels safe and ethical and authentic and reflective of the things that you want and need in life, because the like cis hetero monogamous expectation doesn't fit with people or with all people. And if it doesn't, that's totally fine. Sorry for burping. Let's see. What did Tori say? I think both Zanab and Cole are unhealthy for each other, but not as inherent people. Yeah. And this is, again, something we've talked about, that like compatibility and like being a good person are separate things. It is entirely possible. I know, sorry, the chair cam is for Aaron. It's entirely possible that folks, when put in relationship with one another, aggravate each other's like trauma wounds or each other's like soft spots and bring out really bad parts of each other. Thank you. Aaron just made me a coffee. What a king. And so when that happens, we might see people behaving in ways that are really not reflective of their best selves because they're in this environment. And so sometimes we have to make that call that even though, you know, someone might love another person, if our compatibility and our ability to be our best selves with each other is just not there, then the relationship is not healthy for us to be in. Yes. Yay, Aaron. Aaron the Coffee King. Why would you do it? It's delicious. Thank you. All right. Yes, I miss Echelon a lot too, but she's scared of the balloons. So, all right, we're at 44:08, and we are the timer at the end says 18:38, and we are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Deceitful. You called me evil at the beginning of this and deceitful earlier.
I did not call you evil at any point.
Yeah, you did. It's on camera. But...
Okay, well, we can roll it back, but I did not call you evil. I called you deceitful.
Who was the first person you called afterwards from this group to lean on?
I don't know. I just remember getting in the truck with my friends and being like, guys, that's not her. They were like, what do you mean? I was like, she's gonna text me. That's what I told them. I was like, I think she got like caught up in the moment or something of like the TV. I was just crushed, and I was expecting her to reach out to me. And if she didn't, I wasn't going to reach out to her because then I knew that I had just been fooled.
There was a moment in y'all's wedding after you gave that speech where there was like applause. I don't know if they were applauding you or what was the applause for?
Yeah, and then they cheered when they all went to the door because they were proud of Zay for burying me because I'm the horrible person.
I just heard. So Bartise is saying your friends.
Oh boy.
It could be your friend supporting you in any capacity
yeah,
because we do that. And like they didn't know she was gonna say that, but when she did, they're like, I'm with her. Or it could have been premeditated and you're like, I'm gonna tell him this, guys. Just want you to know and you have my back.
So I had no communication with my friends. No one knew what I was gonna say. I remember even texting my best friend, she's like, so you're still gonna, like, people had known things that had happened. Like, like the trying to control what I ate and me changing my eating habits. People, a couple of my friends knew. They were COVID
Sorry,
testing.
he did that?
Okay. Yeah, it was.
That's hilarious. I never once cared about what you ate. What are you talking about?
I stopped eating.
Okay.
I was eating
Trigger
like
warning.
a banana and a teaspoon of peanut butter just so I wouldn't like pass out on the long days we were filming. The Cutie story that didn't make the cut was one day.
No, I was just say if that's the case. No, just keep going. Just keep going.
Easy there.
No. I was gonna just keep going.
Okay. We are at 45:48. The timer at the end says 16:51, and I want to give a super clear and upfront trigger warning, content warning for eating disorders, body image issues, like all of the things in that realm. This is about to get hairy, if I had to guess. All right, we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
It was like 2 p.m. We were still filming. I hadn't had a chance to eat, so I grabbed 2 cuties, like little tiny oranges that fit in the palm of your hand. And he looked at me and he goes, "Are you gonna eat both of those?" And I said, "Well, like, yeah, that's a serving." And he goes, "Well, we're going out to eat later. Like, maybe you should save your appetite."
Oh my God. I cannot believe that you would say that, Zay.
This is all working out so wonderfully in your favor because they did not use it.
Oh my God.
But I'm not crazy. I'm not a pathological liar.
If you have it, please air it.
I hate that the incredible bonds you guys shared in the pods didn't translate into the real world.
I am too.
But
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see you a year from now. I really can't.
Oh my God. Okay.
She's like, so I know you guys want something super traumatic, but like, think about in a year how fucking cool your lives are gonna be. Like, you might be depressed right now, but if you make it and you're still alive then, like, pretty fucking cool, right? Like, thanks to us for bringing you together.
But also the like, I'm excited about it thing. Like in what world is it okay or empathic for either of them to say, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, but I'm excited to see you in a year from now.
What are you going to do about it, baby?
No, literally, like, this is so dismissive because regardless of what actually went down, it is so clear that Cole and Zay are both very emotionally distressed by this interaction, that they've been emotionally damaged by this experience. And not like, I don't mean like emotionally damaged in like the like damaged goods kind of way, but like this has negatively emotionally impacted all of these people. But in this moment, Cole and Zay, and that Nick and Vanessa are just like, it's all part of the show. It's all part of the gig. Like, that is so incredibly fucking hurtful. Emotional damage.
Also, for what it's worth, too, like, the one thing that comes to mind, too, for me, because you don't know yet, we don't know fully, but, like, if he was not, like, if he wasn't doing it, if he was making comments about her food in a way that she felt uncomfortable to eat around him and stuff and is essentially starving herself, like, I would be pissy as fuck, too, about every little thing.
That's valid, honestly.
Especially for filming and having to do shit probably more than, I don't doubt they do shit more than once, and especially on, like, the B-roll and the stage
like
shots
having to refilm stuff,
but then also, the, like, she's gonna text me, and if she doesn't text me, I'm not gonna text her back, then, like, shut the fuck up, don't be mad about it, then, like, because this is your taking a decision. Like, if I had $1 for every time I was like, oh, I just won't extend the, like, sometimes you have to extend the olive branch, you know? I don't know. That shit just doesn't, like, that's not an excuse to me. I'm not taking sides, but I'm just saying, like, from my perspective as a dude, like, they're like, well, that bitch didn't text me back, so fuck her. Well, like, what did you do?
No, I think this also does highlight a good point, though. Carter said, I love Aaron.
I love you, too.
I don't know. Someone asked what Aaron's sign is, and I don't know if I want to tell you guys. Are you going to use it for good or for evil?
I hate that you have it different. So, like,
I'm sorry. I know, because I have it edited for Echelon. I think this does point out, though, like, the importance of that street going both ways in a relationship. Because yes, Zay could have reached out for the sake of conflict resolution, but Cole could have also. Neither of them did, and so that's on both of them individually. But the expectation that I will just sort of wait around for my partner to reach out to me and then we can resolve a conflict is very much not taking responsibility for your role in the conflict resolution. So I think they both dropped the ball there, and it's not fair for either one of them to point the finger at each other and say, this is your fault that we didn't resolve it, because ultimately we can only control ourselves. We can only control the things that we're bringing to the table. And like, as a learning moment for us, if you are choosing to not participate in conflict resolution or participate in initiating it ever, then like pointing the finger can feel very unfair to the person that you're in relationship with, either romantically or not. Because the question again becomes like, well, how did you contribute to this situation working out in a healthy way? Like, did you know? Okay, so we have a lot of guesses here.
I've only seen it once. I've only seen one person.
Libra, Scorpio. I saw Sagittarius earlier. Gemini.
We're actually not.
Sag. I thought air sign.
I'll tell him later.
It's
Pisces
your own.
No.
It's
Sorry,
your.
not dog.
It's your. What do you have against Pisces?
I don't know. I'm just not a Pisces.
I'm a water sign, bitch, and we love our water signs here. Oh, okay. There's your clue. Aaron is not a water sign.
I create.
Oh.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we're at 46:42.
Also, that coffee is delicious.
I know. Do you want another drink?
No, I had my one, but
thanks,
commenteer.
Thanks, commenteer. 46:42. The timer at the end says 16:04, and we are pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
I think we're gonna move on to a last couple. Alexa and Brennan.
Well, first I want to say, don't even.
Oh, yeah, we got an announcement?
Do not do an announcement, baby. I'm going to fucking kill you.
That's what everyone thought.
I do it all the time. I'm not pregnant.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we just did a shot.
I was going to say.
Yeah. But I do want to say, like, watching it, I'm a lot nicer of a person, I think, than that. I think I'm a little bit more self-critical, like looking at it. I feel like he's so like expressive with his love, and I'm over, yeah. Like there was a lot of moments where I do love him very much. It's just not anything I've ever grown up with. My family is very sarcastic in our love. We're never just, I'm proud of you. Like it's just not how we are. And there was a conversation that we had. It wasn't shown that I asked him, like, does it bother you how sarcastic I am that I don't show things? And it took like really us like getting married. And I think maybe I'm a little bit cheesier than he is in the way that I love. And it takes, it took time, and it really just, I've never been loved like the way that he loved me.
If we didn't do this, we would have never, our paths might have crossed, but we wouldn't have even, I tried to pick her up once at a brewery. Didn't work out well for me.
He did a whole thing trying to pick me up.
It was good too.
Wait, like now? Like after you're dating, you do the whole, like, let's meet.
He does this every now and then.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Then he wants to keep going, and I'm like, stop.
I do too. They're adorable.
We never would have worked. You and
I couldn't do that sometimes, though. That's a joke, and it's really funny.
I'm a little bit, I'm kind of bitchy.
I always joke, my only game was, do you want to be in my music video?
Okay, pause. We are at 48:23. I just want to use this moment to illustrate a point that I made earlier about communication and like our sort of natural way of being. Alexa just spoke about how her family is very sarcastic. They're not very upfront, and it's rare for them to say clearly like, I love you, or I'm so proud of you. Like that's not super common for them, right? And she like, self-labels herself as kind of bitchy sometimes, and talks about how it was really difficult for her to be emotionally vulnerable with Brennan. And this is something that worked in Brennan and Alexa's relationship. In the context of their specific and particular relationship, this was not a deal breaker. And so even though this is a person who like clearly is like their communication style might be offensive or hurtful to someone else, for Alexa and Brennan, it worked just fine. And so again, I just want to be very clear that you are allowed to be the way that you are, and ask for someone to meet you there. It's not to say that it's not acceptable or normal, and also like necessary sometimes to meet your partner halfway and to work on communicating with your partner in a way that works. James, thank you so much for the super chat. The only person we're allowed to character assassinate is Papa Netflix. Thank you for handling this madness and discourse so well. Thank you, James. I appreciate you. And I also love you the most for being here. But I think, again, this is just like a really good moment to honor that like your communication and like style and like way of being in a relationship is up for debate. We can work on that and to work to meet our partner halfway, and also want to be loved in a way that's like authentic to who we are. And I think Brennan and Alexa are a good example of that.
Couple name. That's a new couple's name.
Brenna, that's so cute. Okay, we're at 48:25 and we're pressing play. Oh, the timer at the end, 14:18. So the red timer is 48:21 and the timer at the end says 14:18. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
So I finally pulled it out on her. It worked.
What was it that?
I've never
Because you guys
been
fell in love
vulnerable.
like that.
Yeah, I've never been vulnerable. I've always used like humor has always been my thing, and that's even like going on the show. We
do stand.
I was like, I'm not gonna get married on this. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna say cute little funny lines, and then I'm gonna go home, and I'm not. And then the shakshuka thing, that was day one, and that was just weird. And so he was my number one, and then like the second day, I mean, I don't remember all of our. Like, I remember my notebook. It said like Brennan. Probably spelled incorrectly, and then it said I love him. Day 3, I was just feeling like he's so special. He's just like a gem, and I really miss my family. Like when I went in there and I said like I miss my family, like I was gonna go home. I had a moment like this is really hard. I miss my family. My grandma had passed away like a year before I went on it. I never dreamed about her, and I had a dream like right before I'd be like up. I crashed into sleep, and I had a dream where she was hugging me, and she was just, say what's in your heart, because I've never opened up myself like that. And she was like, say what's in your heart, say what's in your heart. Aww. So day 4, I went in, and game day, when I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, game day. But I went in there, and I was like, I think I'm going to go home. Like, are you feeling it with anybody else more than me? If you are, like, explore that. I'm going to go home, because you're the only person, like, that I'm feeling it. Maybe I'm doing wrong, but I'm feeling a lot of things. And he was like, you're it for me. And that's what it was. And then that's
Yes,
all. We
Angie,
never
that's
talked to
allowed.
anybody else after.
I do believe when you find your person, and I know this seems really hard for some of you right now, and others, you found them, you're gonna find them, and you'll know. So you'll know. You'll know. All of you will know. And speaking of the pods are designed for you to ask a potential spouse everything you need to know about them before deciding to get married.
Oh, boy. I know exactly where this is going.
Continue to learn about each other every single day.
Every day.
And there was one tough topic that Bartise and Nancy did not discuss in the pods. Abortion.
Do we have to fucking talk about this?
The most difficult and open conversation that we have ever seen on this show.
Can I start by addressing this here?
Absolutely.
Because this is a polarizing topic, okay? And our relationship that we had was very real, just like
sorry,
every relationship
trigger
here,
warning,
just like
content
Kel's
warning.
relationship. And these conversations happen in the privacy of a home, like you just said. But Nancy and I were honest with each other with all these freaking cameras around, knowing millions of people are going to listen to this conversation. So I want to commend her for being honest, and I'm proud of us for being able to have that conversation and voice our opinions and true thoughts, knowing we're going to be judged to the death on what we're saying right now.
Yeah.
So.
No, 100%. And I want to say I applaud both of you for having a conversation that was that real and that important, frankly. You're talking about spending the rest of your lives together. You're on the precipice of pledging yourself to each other for the rest of your lives. And issues like that are important to discuss. But the fact that you had that conversation about something that is so important and so powerful, I thought was really, really inspiring. And I applaud you guys again for doing it.
It's a very hard conversation to have. I think a lot of people can learn from that conversation, and it's okay to have
I don't know about that.
Differing views and to learn from each other's views.
Oh, God.
I think it was really great to see that you guys were open and honest with each other. So I really do applaud you guys for having that extremely difficult conversation.
Guys, we're kind of wrapping up, and as we said at the outset, this is an opportunity to...
That was such a weird nothing burger conversation, but okay.
To bring up anything that feels like it needs to be brought up.
Oh,
I just want to give everyone one last chance to say or...
I can say something.
Do anything. Yeah, please.
Oh, God.
I do want to apologize to everyone, and I mean it, and I know some of y'all think I'm not genuine, but Zay, I came here, I fell in love with you, I really did want to get married to you, and I'm sorry for hurting you along the way, and everyone else who I've hurt. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I hope we can keep hanging out and get closer because I've made my mistakes, but I want to try to make them right and stay friends with you guys. And I'm not trying to suck up. I'm just trying to be
It's a
real
nice
with y'all.
apology.
That's
what it's about.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing is that this process has been hard, and there's been ups and downs. There's things that I'm very sad about with the pool party thing, but I am so happy now, and I'm not a shallow person. I'm not a superficial person, and what I'm so grateful of is Matt. He helped me be vulnerable, and you guys got to see that, and I'm very proud of us, and I'm so happy, and I love this man so much, and I'm also not just a ballerina. I also got to throw that in.
There it
Do you
is.
say ballet? Yeah.
Hey, I will say something too real quick.
Oy vey.
The main thing that I've seen over the past
To be fair, Colleen called herself
Colleen,
shallow.
I've fallen.
Pause. Thank you, Ashley, for the super chat. I'm so happy I made one. I love your videos. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you for being here for the live. Yeah, I think Colleen said that she was shallow about herself. So I hear what she's saying. I am like blown away. Like we have 9 minutes left. It seems like this is wrapping itself up, and we still haven't addressed like the bipolar comment that Cole made. We still haven't addressed Matt walking out more than once and like yelling. I'm flabbergasted that we haven't dissected. Like, what's that?
Just from like, for me, I'm just gonna say it, but like the cut of, or the way this was addressed with like, Zay is a bitch.
Yeah.
Matt is wounded and hurt
Uh-huh.
and needs to be coddled. I'm just saying from my point of view as, but again, like I am very biased towards women.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like,
same.
It's just interesting that we didn't get any supercuts of Matt or of Cole.
Yeah. Why didn't we get a cut together montage of Cole being hurtful or Matt being aggressive.
They said, you guys got married, you did it. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter how
it's
much
fine
abuse
now.
is in
We
the
don't have to
relationship,
talk
as long
about
as
it.
You got the ring on your finger.
Careful.
Just kidding. I know, obviously, joke,
Yes.
joke, or like sarcasm.
I know. I'm just saying. They strangely leave Matt alone and dogpile Cole. Yeah, it's a weird. This is a weird.
It's not even balanced
cut.
like at all.
Yeah. Second attempt said earlier, you wouldn't expect Netflix to really talk about the real issues. Fair enough. I think that's probably like a good takeaway for the whole season. All right. We're at 53:31, 9:12 left on the timer at the end, and we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
So much more deep in love with her because of her strict work ethic. It is unbelievable what this woman does. Like, I kid you not, she'll wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get on the computer, start working her PR job, gets ready for dance at 8 o'clock, goes to dances, and that is like physically draining. Like, I've seen it. Oh, yeah. It'll take it out of you. Does that for till 2 or 3 o'clock, goes into a law office to work part-time for a little bit, then comes home and continues to get on the computer and work. So I mean, it's unbelievable what she does, and cooking dinner for her every night. It's a lot of fun, and we're loving it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good
stuff. It's incredible.
I love your support.
Okay, that's very nice that he's being supportive of her. But B, just to be, granular. No, yes, Shanice, I love her because she never stops. Like, in case anyone needs the encouragement or heard this and felt bad about themselves, productivity is not a moral thing. It's not a moral issue. There is no relationship between the level of productivity that you have and the level of worthiness that you have. This idea that the more productive we are, that the more worthy we are of love, belonging, happiness, security, financial success, all of those things, that's inherently a capitalist ideal that steals people's fucking lives. There's a wonderful account on Instagram. I cannot remember what it's called. Let me find it. I think it's called the NAP Ministry, that talks about how rest is resistance. And in a capitalist world, that resting, it's called the NAP Ministry. Highly recommend if you don't follow it. Oh my gosh, thank you, Summer. Thanks for being here, y'all. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you for being here. I love you the most. Yes, down with hustle culture, very much that. Being restful and taking all of that time and energy back to restore yourself, to show up for yourself, is inherently an act of resistance in a world that profits off of our labor and functions by exploiting people. So please know that if you want to be productive and being productive feels good and supportive and life-giving for you, have at it. And if you don't want to, that to whatever degree it's safe for you and you're able to, that I very much want to encourage you to like take that rest, to take your time back and like be gentle with yourself. Yes, also too, that resting is productive and taking care of yourself is productive. Like that is a valuable use of your time to care for yourself. All right, we're at 53:58. There's 8:34 left. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
For each other. Do any of you regret this process?
I do a little bit.
One bit.
What do you regret?
Dude.
You're the first person in 3 seasons.
I mean, look at what I've done.
What do you think you've done?
Here's the deal, dude. If you think you made mistakes, then you can learn from them and grow from them.
If I destroyed someone's self-esteem, then I regret it. Like I
That's
didn't.
valid.
You did in that moment.
So I regret
but
it.
I don't.
Then
but
I would not do it over if I could
I
go
have
back.
completely forgiven you, though. I don't want you to have another failed relationship. I want you to find your forever person. I want you to have exactly what you want. You do deserve that. I forgave you the moment I walked away from you at that altar. I don't hold anything against you. I don't.
Yes,
I haven't.
exactly.
I don't have hate in my heart for you. I loved you very, very much, and I wanted to get married. I did. But you and me, it wasn't good.
Coming from someone who did reality TV, it's a powerful and very strange and bizarre thing to see your life on screen.
I mean, I said some things that I would never say.
Like this is so unnecessarily painful for everyone involved.
Cole, I don't regret you at all. I don't regret you at all. You really did teach me so much about myself, and there was no one else in this experiment that I would have done this with. There really wasn't. It was always Cole or bust, even when you were driving me crazy with your towels everywhere.
It wasn't that many towels.
It
what
was
are you talking
so
about?
many towels, but it's fine. It's past. but I don't regret you at all.
Okay.
I would do it again.
This is
I would
like
do it again,
so
knowing just the outcome.
heartbreaking
as long as I got
for
to do it with
everyone.
you. I would. I really would. I don't. It breaks my heart to hear that you regret it. Like, I hope I changed your life just a little bit, like, for the better.
Yes,
And if I didn't, then I am
and
truly.
That's why I like couldn't reach out to you, because I was like, I didn't understand our wedding day. Like, it didn't make sense to me in any way. I was like,
Obi-Wan
how do
Kenobi,
we
that's
get
fair.
that from like everything you and I had gone
Yes,
through? That's why I
Summer. This
never
does feel
texted
too
you.
intimate for us to be
'Cause I was
watching.
just like, I'm gonna go bury myself in work and just not ever date anyone again, because that was hell. And then I watch it, I'm like, yeah, I'm a dumbass. Like, what was I saying? I'm like, I don't even know the context. Like, it doesn't matter what the context
everyone here
is.
deserves
like, I said
therapy.
some stupid things, and I'm really sorry. So I understand where you're coming from now, and I was
Nick and Vanessa don't have
somehow
anything to
not
say
seeing
now,
that I
huh?
was doing those things.
I know you're sorry, but I forgave you a long time ago.
Why am I?
Pause. I think this is a nice example, though, of what shame does to a person. I don't know if that's what's happening for Cole, but shame can look like this, where we wrap up our whole personhood in our behavior, and we feel like Cole said the thing about, like, I'm just going to go bury myself and never be in a relationship ever again. That is very much what shame can look like for people. And that's why I have said over and over and over and over again that we are not going to character assassinate people on this series, on these streams, because someone can behave in ways that are really, really awful. Like, not just like throwing your towels everywhere, but like really, really terrible things, and still very much is worthy of love and belonging and kindness and empathy and respect. It's a core tenet of the work that I do. It's like a guiding tenet of like the field that I'm in. And also a really important thing for us to honor in all circumstances, because we all do things that are shitty or mean or short-sighted or hurtful, or that we feel bad for, but it does not mean that you're not able to like forgive yourself and to seek forgiveness from other people and to then like try to move forward being a better person. I really much want to encourage people to like take that to heart. It doesn't matter if you've done shitty things. It doesn't matter if you've hurt people, because you are still like a human being who is worthy of love and belonging. And we can like grow from that and become better people. If you compare what Cole said during the Cutie scene and actually with the Cutie scene, oy vey. Okay, great. I can't wait to watch the Cutie scene. That's so fun for me. All right. We're at 56:34. The timer says 6:01. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Brian, damn it.
Hey man, this is real stuff. I mean, this is life, and as we say to you guys at the very first day, I hope that you all gain something.
Hi, Cass. Thanks
from
for
this
coming.
Experience. Some of you hopefully have gained a life partner. Some have gained perspective. Some have gained knowledge, growth. We should all walk away from this having gained something. And I think if you allow yourself to look back honestly, you can do that, and you have. And to Vanessa's point, I hope that you can look back and say, you know,
no, literally,
no regrets. You know,
Yeah,
I learned something, and I'm better for it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful to each and every one of you for investing yourselves.
Nick
in
and
this
Vanessa
experience.
trying to force them to
And
be
we truly
thankful
do
for this
care about
opportunity
each
is
and every
so
one of you.
gross.
You know, we're all on this journey together.
So gross.
And it truly means
No,
a lot
you're
to
not.
Vanessa and I that you
No,
have
you're not.
given yourselves emotionally
For our
and
entertainment.
otherwise to this process. And we wish you guys the very, very best of luck. You know, for those who left the
Thank
experiment
you.
the same way you came in, I know that you
Drama.
will find
Some
that
have
one
gained
person, and
trauma and
ultimately,
depression. Nick
in the
gains
end, you'll
everywhere.
find what
Yeah,
you're looking
Nick
for.
gained a whole bunch of
Hopefully
money.
this
Thank you for
experience
being
will
here
help
on
you
the stream,
define
though.
what it is that you're looking for.
Yes,
For the
and
next chapter.
Raven and SK. Okay, we're rooting for y'all.
We are.
Can't wait to see more of this
Rooting
love
for Nick and
story.
Vanessa to
And
retire.
our two
Thank you,
married
Tatum, for the
couples,
super chat. I do
Alyssa
think Nick and Vanessa
Brennan,
should have said
Matt and
something when people
Colleen.
chimed in
We
on
are
saying
so
Cole's
looking forward
relationship.
to
Like,
seeing
Cole,
what the
yeah,
future
for
holds for
sure.
you guys. And I'm just going to put one
They
fun
did a
fact
very
out there.
poor job of
There has
hosting.
yet to be the first Love is Blind baby. I'm just saying.
Oh.
No
Ew,
pressure. Uncle Nick's ATV are
ew.
ready for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Thank you guys so
No,
much.
thank
for
you.
watching. We're beautiful humans. We love you, and we'll see you next season.
You have a baby then, Vanessa. You have a Love is Blind. Oh, God. Here we go.
They did a whole.
Please be almost 7 o'clock. Oh my gosh, the time is moving slowly. We can plan 2 weddings before this dinner reservation comes. I am glad that I asked about your family though, because I just had this feeling that it was going to be like all of your family and none of mine. But now that I know that,
my guest list will absolutely complement yours.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just not going to have friends and a ton of.
Well, we should go to your people. Like after we're actually married, we should go to the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep
you said
you
they're
like
in
a
Pakistan.
I'm not
Wait,
gonna
no, they're not in the Middle East. They're all in England.
They're my mom's side are in England. I'm not gonna
Right.
like keep you
So
a
that's what I'm saying.
secret by any means.
No, you're not gonna keep me a secret. But what I'm saying is like this is what we do is we have our little tiny wedding since it's at the end of this month and we have no time to get everyone there. Then we go to your side of the family and we do the same thing in England.
Yeah,
That way
it'll
everyone.
have to be a world tour to catch everybody. But
What
it'll
would be
get
like?
done.
So not everyone's kind of in the same place. It's still like a lot of traveling.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the idea is still good.
You will eventually meet everybody.
Yeah.
That is just a massive amount of people
A massive
from corners of the world to get together.
Okay, so tell me where the most important ones are at.
England.
Okay. Your mom's side all in England?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Your mom's side is all in England. How long of distances are they apart?
sorry,
Like 5
right now
hours
this
or
is
something?
boring
Like,
as
isn't
fuck.
it
Yeah,
super
this is
cheap
boring
to
as
fly
hell.
within England? So we could fly them all to the same place
Just
in England?
really quick, I want to pause. Remember when I told you guys that there's like thousands of hours of footage that needs to get cut together? This is what I was fucking talking about. Because there's like, what, 5 couples?
All doing this bullshit.
That are getting filmed for hours and hours and hours every day. Mind you, there's multiple camera angles for every couple too. There's self footage that they're taking. And so I don't know how many godforsaken weeks long this experiment is, but there's like potentially 2 or 3 camera angles for every couple that's being filmed for like hours and hours every week. But then there's also the like group footage and like the group accounts that they're doing.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna keep watching it.
We're gonna keep watching it. Everybody chill.
We're gonna keep watching it.
I make the content here. I'm allowed to say things. But like, this is what I'm talking about. That like, this is why we don't see all of the context, because also it's boring as shit. All right, we're pressing play. 1 hour and 14 seconds. There's 2 minutes and 31 seconds left. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
I think we'd probably just do it in my mom's hometown, which is where all my cousins and my aunts and uncles live.
So that doesn't sound like a massive undertaking.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be if we were having like a reception in England.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder if you hear the words that I am saying.
You already know I don't listen half the time.
Facts.
Okay.
Did everybody hear that?
You just talk a lot of Cole.
I talk a lot of Cole.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean?
Like a lot of it is just like you like either breaking out in song, dropping some bars. Yeah.
Killing oranges? Are you about to eat 2 of those?
Maybe. That's a serving. You
Better-
okay with that?
You better save your appetito.
I've only had a banana
Talking
and
like-
a scoop of peanut butter today.
Big ol' sucker tonight.
So.
You only had a banana today?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Oh, I could
I offered
definitely
you
tell
a
you, but I
poke
probably
bowl.
shouldn't. I know you did, but we had that last night.
Oh, are you getting wedding dress?
Something like that.
Wedding dress bod?
That was really how they.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, let's go back to this. Pause. I know that all of you who have very contentious opinions about the Cole and Zay issue are looking for me to speak definitively one way or the other, and you're going to be disappointed because I'm not fucking gonna. This, regardless of whether we saw that footage or not, like, it doesn't account for the context behind the scenes that Zay was speaking of, and so we don't know. What are you doing over there?
Just cleaning it up a little bit, you know?
Okay,
Now
thanks. Unnecessary comment on Cole's part. I don't think his intention was bad, but I don't think her perception is abnormal for anyone with her issues, like disordered eating. I don't understand why people keep calling her a liar for this scene. What she said in the reunion is exactly what she said in that scene. Yeah, I don't know. I also don't want to position myself as a referee in this situation because, like, it's not for me to say. I will say it is not uncommon for folks to hear or like to feel very hurt by comments about like their appetite, their food, their weight. And also that like generally it's not a useful thing to comment on. I think generally I would encourage people to trust your loved ones to feed themselves, and to not cast doubt or ask, like questions about like, oh, like, are you still going to have an appetite, et cetera, et cetera. Because we are responsible for our own bodies and nourishing our own bodies, and we can express support and love and care for someone, particularly if we know that eating or eating disorders are a sensitive issue for them. But the like trying to micromanage someone's ability to feed themselves is not always helpful. Oftentimes it's the opposite of helpful. Don't talk about my food unless I cooked for you and you are complimenting me as the amazing chef that I am. Yeah. Generally, I just want to discourage people from making comments about folks' bodies, folks' food habits, folks like eating or exercise habits, because generally it's not our business. And it's also just like irrelevant. Fair stance. My biggest issue is the amount of backlash that Zay is getting from the internet, regardless of Cole's opinion. I get how she comes to the conclusion that she does. Yeah, Days in Blue. I think like the amount of backlash that both people are receiving is like really overwhelming. And like ultimately over something that like isn't for us to be the referees about. James, thank you so much for the super chat. You know who really needs therapy? The poor unpaid interns that are probably editing this footage. Maybe they just look for the mic peaks and use that. Yeah, again, like this is a thing. Like the amount of just the sheer mountain of footage that these people have to go through is wild. Watching this again, what bothers me is the way he commented about her eating 2 tiny oranges. Are you eating another one of those? Regardless of any context, I think it's a weird thing to comment on.
This is nuts. I've never been on this subreddit before. This is the only time I'm going to touch it on my phone. Just the top post in Love is Blind is Cole now has more followers on IG than Zanab.
See, like, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
we are so lost in the sauce. Like, so lost in the sauce. But yeah, also too, like, even if Zay had pulled out like a whole tray of like leftovers and decided to eat that before dinner, it's nobody's business. Like if the food is a lot of food, if it's not a lot of food, it is still an unnecessary and unuseful comment to make about the things that people are eating, because I think generally we should trust that adult human beings are able to adequately and effectively feed themselves. You know, yeah, I'm not touching the subreddit.
Don't look at this subreddit.
Reddit is also a cesspool, you guys. Like, Reddit is really nice sometimes and really, really awful other times. So
that was like 5 minutes.
Proceed with caution. All right. I mean, exactly. If she was eating a cheesecake. Yeah, exactly, Hannah. I am ready to go. I also have to pee really bad. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys. I am so excited that we are done with this season of this show. I generally have really enjoyed streaming and I would like to do it more. We might be able to do this with some other shows, but we might also do it with just more like fun, easy, happy, fun times. You know?
Guys like The Sims?
Yeah. Do you guys like The Sims? The Sims is not controversial. Maybe we'll do that. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all the most. I haven't announced any like future streaming dates yet because I don't know what we're doing, but we shall see. Yes, Carter, I will look into the push. I will see what the deal is there. Yes, please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe while you're down there. Thank you, Ashley, for the birthday wishes. I will see you guys. Oh, yeah. Aaron just dropped his zodiac sign in the comments.
Which of these brands would you consider using? Cerebral, Brightside, none of the above, BetterHelp, or Talkspace?
Skip that survey. Thank you, guys. All right, we will see you around.
I would love to watch Disney shows.
I would love to watch Disney shows, too. Thank you guys for being here. Love you the most. And